Experience the pure joy of owning a new animal, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another edition of Live Trading. I am having a tough time containing my excitement. It's Wednesday here. It's hump day. We got Tim Melvin coming. And perhaps most importantly, there is a meaningful football game tomorrow night. We're almost there. In the meantime, though, we're going to make some money. You know how we do it. Let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning to all the good morningers. Alyssa, am I doing that right? Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's great to see a whole bunch of people in the chat. I hope that you have fun with that trading competition that Zunaid was just talking about. We're going to go ahead and dive into the market here today. I'm going to start by bringing on my main man, 13. 13, how are you doing, dude?
Doing all right. Just taking a look at things that are moving around this morning. Got quite a day yesterday. Looking for quite a day today.
All right. And guess what? Thinking about it is absolutely right. For those of you that stuck around and took Anne-Marie's trade on Zscaler, that one's going to pay out. That one is going to pay out. Really good stuff there. We appreciate everything Anne-Marie does. Hope you guys banked off that. Okay, 13, let's go ahead and dive right in. As you can probably imagine, I'm extremely excited for football. So I'm doing my best to keep that off my mind and focus on making money. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start with the SPY here. Who was it that said this? Hang on a sec. Oh, we've got the one and only Andrew Labos in the chat. Oh my, today is going to be a great day. Andrew Labos literally just set the stage by joining here and calling out. It's good to see you, my man. Welcome back. Real quick. Here we go. Here was the comment. Elon. Good morning, Elon. Good morning, Ryan and 13. Good morning. What a flush yesterday. Indeed. Look at this candle. Sure was a flush yesterday. This is exactly what we've been waiting for. But this is only the beginning of what we've been waiting for. We really want to see this market come back in, reset some of these valuations, diversify more, get out of this really kind of congested 7-stock trade that we've been in. So we'll see if we end up getting that here today. Now, as you can see, based on these levels, we did break beneath that trend line and we closed below it. However, we stayed above the 50-day moving average. We did not actually test that yesterday in the regular session. However, we did trade below that in the after hours session. That might have coincided. No, that was a little bit after the NVIDIA Department of Justice news drop, which we can talk about here as well. So we did actually test that 50-day moving average in the after-hours session. We're down a little bit here on the SPY today in the pre-market, but we are up off the lows. So really, 13 and I were talking here in the pre-show fist fight. You know, what do you think's going to happen here today? What do you think's going to end up going on? I am going to stay on the side that the buy the dippers are still here until it doesn't work. So I'm going to have to be wrong first, and then I'll kind of readjust that. I would not be surprised if the buy the dippers stepped in today and the SPY traded up towards that 555 previous level that 13 has outlined so many times. So that's my 2 cents here. I want to see if we break down further. If I could choose, if the market would listen to me, I would choose for us to break down further here, but I'm skeptical of that. 13, what say you here on the SPY and where we're at today?
Well, I would think that if the buy the dippers were going to come in, they were going to come in at the 555 level where they had been hiding out at for the past half month. So when we blew through that level yesterday and we didn't really return, I think a lot of them got really hurt. So we might see there might be a little less buy the dippers now, but I still think that given the move we had yesterday, we could end up trading sideways. If we go higher, I don't think we're going to go much higher than 555 if we even get up there. I still think there's that previous all-time high that we closed above that is still going to provide some resistance, and that's at 551.80. The other thing about downside is that there's a lot of moving averages and other key levels that are kind of in the way of the bears having their way. So we have the 20 and 50-day SMAs that provided support yesterday. That's going to take a lot of volume to work its way, the price to work its way through that. So if we do go down, it's going to probably be another big candle like the one we got yesterday if we're going to move through those moving averages. If not, which is what I think might happen today, we're probably just going to consolidate. I think it's going to be somewhere between 549 and 552 that we might see the most consolidation. But I really am reluctant to make predictions on what's going to happen, going forward, because that side of the equation with buy the dippers, the other side of the equation with this market being overbought. So I just think that consolidation might be the thing we see here today. But I'm keeping my mind open and just staying vigilant in case that doesn't work out.
Okay, real good stuff on that breakdown. Let's go ahead and take a look at the movers, and then we'll take a look at any stocks that you folks want to take a look at to get ready for the open. Now, the movers list here, it's got some ones we're familiar with. We're going to start here with Wiisa. This one we've had a lot of fun with. We've been able to trade this often. It's been liquid enough for us to trade. It gives us PRs that gives these types of moves. Stocks up 78% here this morning. We also have fun with it because it's kind of like Alyssa's name. So we might talk about it a little more because of that. Alyssa's busy with her new kitty. All right, so for Wiisa here, this is what's going on. Stock was $1.20 yesterday. We got a PR here. Wiisa Technology shares are trading higher after the company announced that it executed a definitive asset purchase agreement to purchase the data vault, intellectual property, and information technology assets of privately held data vault holdings for $210 million. This caused the stock to rocket. Actually, looking at the pre-market here, a lot of really good stuff so far. I don't know if this is going to carry over for the rest of the day, but so far, so good. A lot of really good stuff. We see the elevated volume. We see that this volume is continuing to expand in the pre-market, and the price action that we've got has actually been pretty awesome. Impulse move, back test of VWAP, more new highs, back test of VWAP, a double top, back test of VWAP, then a new high. So we'll see what's next here. But so far, the action's pretty good. 13, what do you see and think here on Wiisa today?
Well, Wiisa is buying data vault, and I tried to get into this one a little while ago, but before this run that it's currently in started happening, so I missed that. But anyway, it's got 5.6 million shares in the float. They did a 1-for-150 reverse split on April 15th. And regarding this purchase of data vault, this is going to add a lot of value to the company. But in order to do that, they have to raise capital. And how they're going to be raising capital is they are going to be offering 40 million shares at $5 a share. That'll be $200 million right there. And then they're also going to issue a 3-year note for $10 million. So that basically covers the purchase of data vault. Does that mean that we're going to see these shares go up to $5? I don't know. It's possible, but that would be something to watch for today. They're financing this thing the best way that they can, because if you look at their balance sheet, they don't have anywhere near that amount. So this is going to help the company. I don't know when we're going to see those returns, but that's what's going on with Wiisa.
Okay. Amazing breakdown there. We'll see what this gives us here today. Next on our list is going to be Wint. This is Winry Therapeutics, ticker WINT. We do have a PR here. Winry Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company completed enrollment of its phase 2B study of a drug I can't pronounce in early cardiogenic shock caused by heart failure. So pretty good PR here on Winry. Now, yesterday we had an absolute destruction. This stock really got pummeled, moved down from about $8 to the low of what? Let's come on, get in there. About $3. So we really got destroyed yesterday. Today we're popping. What say you, 13? What's the trade here on WINT?
Well, they announced that they completed their phase 2B enrollment. So apparently they have all the subjects they need to test this product they're working on. But they still are going to need some cash, so I expect them to raise at some point. They did a 1-for-18 reverse split on April 22nd, resulting in a float that right now of 589,000 shares. I noticed that the short interest was a little high, and this is post-split that the short interest got really high, and I think that may be one of the reasons why we saw that huge drop yesterday. So there may be a potential here to squeeze. I'm not, I can't say that that's exactly what's going to happen, but it's got a lot of setups going for it. And you look at like I'm looking at a 5-minute chart right now and see that it has tried twice already to get above 650. And I anticipate that we'll see another attempt upon getting up to 650 upon a break of the VWAP. So that'll be one thing I'll be watching for out of the open here, is if it can get above VWAP and run up to 650 and maybe even take out 650. Otherwise, we're going to be triple topping.
Okay, and the one thing that we're seeing here in this pre-market action on the 5-minute chart that you referenced, we are actually getting some higher lows even on some of these pullbacks. So you're absolutely right. This is set up maybe to blast off right through that VWAP. Maybe we go to some of those levels. Really good stuff there, 13 on WINT. I am shocked at the amount of mentions for Mullen in the chat. So much so that I had trouble getting that sentence out of my mouth, honestly, guys. We will... I suppose if you want, we'll take a look at Mullen. I'd rather have Jay Rice break down Mullen for us here. If you pumped it at 44, you must love it at 22. LOL. That might be the best that we get here. We'll take a look here at Mullen in a sec. I just want to finish off some of the names on this list. Next here is going to be CNFR. This gave us a really great trade yesterday. It actually gave a move twice. Past that initial impulse move. Now, the good news here is we're actually holding the gains from yesterday. We've moved higher here in the pre-market. Volume actually looks pretty good. The one thing that we want to watch on this one is going to be that volume. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. When that volume, when we were looking at BOF, when that volume continues to expand, that's one of the things that tells us that this is probably the stock to trade. So we'll see if we get that here again on CNFR. 13, did you have anything fresh for this one here today, or is it just a continuation from yesterday?
Yeah, I think this is just relative volume.
I agree.
I didn't really see much going on with this one. It has 3.39 million shares in the float. That's really all I got on this one. So if it provides some movement, then we'll take a look and trade it.
Okay, next one here is ASST, Asset Entities. Let's keep the jokes to a family show here. This actually is making a double top here in the pre-market. This actually tested the high intraday yesterday. Great trade setup here yesterday. Great little move if you caught it yesterday. We'll see what happens here today. 13, I know we were kind of talking about this one in the pre-show fist fight. What do we think's going on with ASST here?
Let's see. I don't really.
Me either. Sorry.
I don't really. I couldn't. No, because I couldn't really make sense of the filings without having to read through every single one of them. What this company does has a lot to do with social media. Apparently, I'm not exactly sure what they do really, but if there's some movement happening here, then we'll definitely watch and trade this. I'm noticing that we tried to break that intraday high yesterday.
Yep.
In pre-market, right? So it came pretty close. The high is 274, and it looks like we're setting up to get to do another attempt at that. So watch for a recapture of VWAP after we open, and maybe this will provide that movement we need to get above 275 and take it higher. I don't have a whole lot of levels for this one right now, but after 275, I'd be looking towards 395. As an upside target.
Okay, really good stuff there. I kind of tossed you a grenade there, but like the seasoned vet that you are, you just put a helmet right on top of it and jumped on top of it, and no one is injured because of that. By the way, WINT, literally as we're talking, doing exactly what you were looking for, 13, going through that VWAP here. We'll see if this tests 6. Really good stuff. We're seeing that materialize here. Okay, next here is going to be ASTS. This is Assts, as we like to call it here. It is taking off again. So we're gapping up here in the pre-market. AST Space Mobile shares are trading higher after the company announced confirmation for a September 12th launch target for Blue Bird satellites. 13, you are my space expert. Break it down for me. What's going on here with Assts? And perhaps more importantly, do we have a trade on our hands?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a trade on this until the launch. When this launches, regardless if it's successful or not, I think that's going to be a sell the news event. So now that we have a date, there's something to look forward to, a catalyst for it to move up that day. And then I think we'll probably end up seeing it sell off the same day. That's one thing that could likely happen. That's kind of what I'm anticipating. I didn't read the news on this this morning, so this is a little bit new to me, but this is what I was expecting. So 440 million in cash, flowing 155 million warrant redemption proceeds. So lots of good things here, and it's got pretty high short interest, so it is squeezing a little bit. Now it does have a lower amount of days to cover, but I think just for the purpose of this this move this morning, it is going to be squeezing. It's just that it's not going to be like one of those multi-day squeezers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I actually missed part of that. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Looks like my internet connection dropped a little bit there, but recovered. So we should be all right here. Really good breakdown there. ASTS. We'll see what that gives us. I know we're running out of time here, but the last one on the list is going to be Clove. Lynn and Randy, if you folks are out there, shout out to you. Clover Health here, ticker CLOV. Clover Health investment shares are trading higher after the company's subsidiary Counterpart Health announced a multi-year agreement with the Iowa Clinic to deploy an AI technology to Midwest providers. So, Clove, remember, this has actually been on a pretty decent run recently. You can actually see this pretty nicely on the 15-minute chart. We talked about this one when it was under 2. It ran up to almost 4. It's retraced some of that move. Now it looks like it might be trying to bounce here again. Ticker CLOV. 13, do you have any plans or anything on this one here for today?
No, I as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I think that Clove is a better investment. I mean, you can trade it. It definitely does provide some good trades on some days, but the theme here seems to be a little bit longer term, and I think if you're just buying and holding, you're being rewarded. The thing that I mentioned about Clove is that I wanted to see another quarter or two of some positive some net income. So that is what I'm waiting for, and I may end up missing the boat if that's what I'm waiting for. But I just don't have enough of an opinion on this one to tell you if it's a good trade or not. If it provides movement, then sure, we'll definitely trade it. But I personally think this is better as a longer term investment.
Okay, there we go. We're going to move over to the main workspace here. We're going to get our scanner out here, looking for plays all day long. We actually are going to start here with Wind, as that is continuing to trade up. This trade's already working here, 13. So really, really good stuff. Market is about to open right here. Well, did I miss something in here? Oh, Jay Rice, appreciate this. Asst, sorry I left this out. Asst, huge upgrade. Deutsche Bank here, Ryan, $22 to $69 price target, ASTS. Looks like a little bit of a catch up, doesn't it?
And here we go with the open. So let's see what Wint does.
Let's do it.
And getting some weird readings there. Okay, now it's going. Sienna bar down. ASTS down.
We'll go to the Twitter streets in a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I was being asked about Hollow down here. So I mentioned last week if it goes like, let's say down to like 30 cents, I'm just going to be out because I think the whole idea might be over at that point. But for the purpose of the whole lottery ticket trade, this was something that I was holding on to through at least the first half of September, as the whole plan was based around the August into September movement from last year. So that's the whole plan with that. I forgot who was asking, but I think hopefully that answers your question. Who was asking?
Wind is going. Wind broke out here.
It's yeah. So let's see it get to 620, and then 650 is the pre-market high I have.
Okay, we'll see if we get there. We will see if we get there here on Wind. Pulling back, we'll see if it gets to the VWAP. GNPX news. Okay, that's Geneprex. We've actually traded this one before. That is a penny stock. Let's see what the news is here. Courtesy of Benzinga Pro. Geneprex announced plans to launch separate company to focus on development of gene therapy to treat type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Geneprex to the diabetes gene therapy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. The one thing I will say about this one, I'm wondering what kind of legs this is going to have, given what we're seeing out of some of the GLP-1 type drugs and how that affects diabetes. But nonetheless, that's what's going on here. Good call, good shout there, by the way, Webcoin. Good shout there on GNPX. Wind now breaking down. So let me go back to that.
ASST. This is breaking out. We have cleared the pre-market highs.
Okay, so ASST, here you go. Good call there, 13. Hopefully you took those gains there on Wint, as that's pulling back to VWAP here. Oh, look at this, folks, look out. Mullen is Mullen is on this thing. You guys weren't kidding. This really did kind of run into the open here. Now it's popping. Jay Rice, I know you got to be thrilled about. I'm going to stop making fun of that because Jay, you're probably going to get tired of me. Here is ASST. What was the next level here? We are above yesterday's intraday high.
ASST. So yeah, 275 was the next upside target. We've actually hit 283. Let me see what the next one is here. I might not even have any. Let me put
CNFR through the VWAP here. Yeah, CNFR. Wow, that was a dip and rip there. I actually didn't watch that open there, but here we go. GitLab, by the way, GitLab up big here today. They reported earnings yesterday. This looks like this might try and go. If you're going to do a gap and go type trade here, now that we're above the VWAP, I'd use the 9 EMA as your stop.
292 looks like, okay, well, that's good, taken out. An ASST. Next upside target going to be 395.
How's NVIDIA doing here this morning? That's one I want to check right out of the open. I'm keeping my eye on the unusual options down here, bottom left corner. Here is NVIDIA. So it looks like we were unable to test 100 yet. I do think that test here is coming. At least I got to think that that's going to be on deck here. Which one?
Wint is halted.
Wint halted to the downside, right? On
Yes.
Wint, I don't see it reported as a halted. This actually might be trying to catch up out of the open here.
And ASST, I'm sorry, ASTS is trying to rebound. ASST, where'd that one go? Just had it on my screen. Where'd it go?
ASST is above $3. It's flirting with that $3 level literally as we speak.
Yeah, there we go. So 307, the high on ASST, trying to push higher now. Looks like it's going to. Getting some nice bids underneath there to help support it, but those are getting taken out as well. Might need to just kind of consolidate a bit before it makes that move up to 395.
CNFR, it looks like this is trying to go here, trying to set some new highs here and go on CNFR. Little bit of size there at 186. We'll see if that snaps. 190, also another spot to watch there on CNFR.
Lunar had some movement too, maybe possibly in relation to
ASTS. Yeah, that makes sense. Here, let me actually bring that up because Lunar's been a decent trader for us on different days. Let's see if today is one of them. Here you go. It's actually in this consolidation area. Maybe if we break 525 here, you tell me, 13.
Well, so the pre-market high is 538. So that's where I would be looking at going. I see that where you're talking about here with the 525 area, but I think based on yesterday's price action, we got to a high of 533. And in the after hours, it looks like it was 532. So let's say 533. That's the next. That's the next level we're going to want to take on our way up to 538. That seems to be a big area of resistance in that in that zone, because 3 times it's been rejected around just after in the 530s basically. So.
Okay, CNFR, by the way, broke down here. So this is breaking down. We want to wait and see if this actually gets to a level where it's buyable. CNFR looks like a head fake through that VWAP there. Yep, getting support at the 65 EMA at the moment. If that falters, then the 200 EMA is down at 133. FFIE halted to the upside. Stop me if you've heard this before. FFIE. You guys were laughing earlier. This popped almost $1, halted to the upside.
I'm laughing now.
There you go. Wiisa, this actually moved beneath its VWAP. Look out on that one. ASST so far strong here, holding above 3.
All right. ASST, yeah, that's that pushed it to 321. Trying to it's getting support from VWAP as well, so still looking pretty good.
Around here, just some of the other momentum indicators. What was that? That's printed a bunch of highs so far this morning. Dollar Tree printing a bunch of lows. This is going to be okay. So new lows coming here on Dollar Tree after its earnings. That actually might be a loss leader today. EQT has printed 30 new highs already today. This actually looks like it's trying to break out here. Interesting daily chart, EQT. I feel like that's one we've talked about before. Berkshire B, new highs.
Oh, great. Elon, good mention about the jolts and thinking about it. Thank you for reminding everybody about the lunar contracts. Those are going to be the next catalyst for LUNR, which is trying to push up into new intraday highs, maybe even new 2-day highs.
Let me get lunar up here real quick. Fell off the relative volume scanner, but that's all right. Here you go. That's that consolidation area. Let's see if we pop that off here.
ASTS going even lower. This is something I'd wait for to give us an indication of a bottom. We might get that down around just under 30 because we have this consolidation from yesterday after hours. So that would be a level I'd be looking at, like maybe around 29.50. And what is okay? So Wiisa is trying to reverse off the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. Still needs to recapture VWAP. That's one to watch.
Just reappeared on the scanner as it's trading back up. Watch that recapture of VWAP. That's a good call. 13.
Thank you.
Affirm getting mentioned in the chat. We got to check out Affirm.
Yeah, and Lunar's pushing a little bit higher too. Remember that 538 is the level to get over.
Good morning, Chicago Realtor. How is the real estate market looking in Chicago here today? Parker trying some Affirm at 40. So Parker, you looks like you're trying some for a long bounce play here at 40. Just to make sure I get that correct. Appreciate that.
Yeah, they had good sales numbers. Just company still isn't able to turn a profit, and that worries me. Plus, the whole buy now pay later theme is also concerning to me.
Yeah.
But hey, if this is moving in the direction you're looking for, by all means, trade that sucker.
Chicago Realtor asking about Dell. Let's take a look at that here real quick. Let me get my big chart up, and we'll flip over to Dell.
Wiisa trying to recapture VWAP. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll go back to Wiisa here in a sec. Chicago Realtor saying, any opinion on Dell hovering near its 200-day SMA? Yeah, so the way I feel about this, I mean, given what we saw yesterday, we'll see if the market has some type of bounce back here today. Maybe call it a dead cat bounce, whatever you want. Well, let's see how the market actually finishes here today. Here's the beautiful part about your question, Chicago Realtor. I think that you can exercise patience here in order to get paid, right? You can wait this out. I don't know that you necessarily need to buy this today. If you really want to have some exposure, maybe take a small starter here. But one of the things that we might see, especially if the market continues to show weakness, is a dip beneath this 200-day. You can see these last, 3-4 weeks, really since August 15th, so the second half of August, we've been trading above it, and we really haven't had the strength to break out here. So if we dip beneath again and then recapture it, maybe that'll provide the strength that we're looking for. But I don't think you need to be in a rush today. At a pretty good spot. I like that you're watching it here. Again, if you want to make sure you have some exposure, maybe take a starter here, but I think you can wait this out. I think you can get a more clear signal that you're going to get a swing long opportunity here. No reason to expose yourself to that risk early on.
So it looks like Lunar got a little bit of resistance in that, the 530 area as it's been getting for the pre-market and yesterday. Pulled back a little bit, recharging. It looks like it's going to still try and take that out, but that, getting through the 530s, it seems to be the big challenge for Lunar right now, given the price action in the between yesterday and today. So that's something to watch for. Also, getting asked about trading Broadcom earnings, and Christopher Anthony also mentioning Medtronic. Hey, Medtronic, I love that. I think medical device companies are going to still do really well, and I think that's one of the strongest ones. As far as Broadcom goes, I'd be careful. I think this may end up going the way of NVIDIA. That's just my feeling on the matter. It's had some, a really good run. It's also in the AI chip space.
Yeah.
Makes AI chips for Google. But I think this may end up going down along with the other semis, being on that theme. Here we go with Lunar pushing through 530s right now. It's new intraday high of 536. We're trying to take out 538.
Okay, let me flip over to Lunar here. One thing about MDT here. Yesterday, these stocks seemed to kind of lead, right? Dexcom was on that list. Carmen, I know you own Dexcom, or at least you did. Maybe you don't anymore. DXCM. Those were some of those leaders yesterday. We'll see if that continues here today. MDT really good open here. Here is Lunar, the top end of that range, just like 13 called. Let's see if we pop and move higher here, Lunar.
Parker, Broadcom's earnings are tomorrow after hours.
I can actually use Benzinga Pro to confirm that for you. And here you go. Thursday, September 5th, after market close. Good luck. I am going to be I'm going to have food and drink and stats and my computer open. I am going to consume nothing but opening night of football. I cannot wait. I can't wait. I'm sorry I'm such a kid about it, but I can't wait.
So look at the SPY right now. We're getting a little bit of a recovery going on here. It's trying to hold above that previous all-time high of 551.80. One of the things we're looking for is resistance at the 555 level. Still don't know if we're going to get up there or not, but given the fall we had yesterday, it's entirely possible we could. So watching for that, and right now it's just trying to get past the yesterday's close, which was 552.08.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Sideshow T. That's a great mention. Hawaiian Electric had a big jump yesterday and is still going. I think as we saw with Pacific, what was that one in California? Pacific Gas and Electric, I believe it was.
PG&E.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So that one ended up recovering too after that horrendous mishap that they had with the campground fires. Hawaiian Electric likely to end up doing the same thing once we realize and understand how much liability they have towards what happened there.
Folks, wind has resumed. That looks like that broke down. Now we did go to a support level. I know Smoke Tuna is not here. Maybe this is a buyable level if we get in towards this 450 here on wind. Hopefully you sold when we had that nice little run out of the gate.
ASTS trying to recapture VWAP. It's currently above it right now and moving higher.
I'll tell you what, you said ASTS, right? We've got ASST and ASTS both making moves here today. I'm sure I'm going to screw that up once.
It's not confusing at all.
ASST
is actually on a tear right now, up to 345.46, going higher. Still looking for that 395 I mentioned earlier. And looks like we got a little bit of a pullback in the SQQQ with that upside that we were seeing in the SPY and the Qs. Getting a little bit of a pullback now in the SPY as this current, this current 5-minute candle is getting rejected at that 551.80 level.
GitLab came back into its VWAP. This might try the highs again here on GitLab. I actually think this might be fairly decent for a day trade here. GTLB, you're looking right here. Stop probably right beneath VWAP. Target price above 53. GTLB. Could probably use the 9 EMA on that as well. FFIE halted. Yep. Bingo. Halted to the upside at 5. Make a wish, Webcoin, 555. Jay Rice, your daily reminder on Mullen that they've lost $42 a share the last 3 quarters. Jay, is that good, bro? It doesn't sound good.
I was kind of
laughing.
I was kind of taking a look at that. So per their income statement, yes, they lost almost $96 million last quarter. On their balance sheet, they have $3.5 million. So they're going to have to raise cash. I don't need anybody to explain it to me. I know that there's an appeal somewhere in here. It's just not for me.
Wiisa here, this did break above its VWAP. Looks like it's trying to roll here on Wiisa.
Man, that's slow mover. You, Amy. That is just such a winner.
That's the antimony play that you talked about, right?
That's
you, Amy.
Such a winner. Yeah. Look at what this thing did.
You might need to start a new penny stock service. Honestly, we might need to just spin that up here because some of these penny stock plays, you've been on top of them. Just don't pick Mullen.
It's just the theme. Like we hear about Andy tell us all the time. You find the right theme, you get in early, you're going to do well. And I think
theme me up, Scotty. Theme me up.
I think as soon as we started getting that news about China curbing antimony exports, And even though the United States has a significant supply of antimony, there's still other underlying things going on here with this particular company. And I know that there was another one that was mentioned yesterday that's also a good antimony play. But this one, having the most upside, still looking for $1. It's had some pretty good movement. It's like 2x since we started looking at it from that China news.
By the way, I have noticed here on the unusual option activity scanner here in Benzinga Pro, I've seen a lot of call flow into NVIDIA here. Looks to be the 105s, 100 and 108s, 110 maybe in there. NVIDIA is bouncing here with some of those call sweeps. So definitely option players buying NVIDIA to the upside here today.
Looks like Lunar is, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, I was going to say, let's just look around, and you went right to Lunar, so we'll take a look at that. I clicked on Mullen, which was dumb as rocks. So let's go back to Lunar here real quick.
Yeah, Lunar's trying to see, it's right in the same area where it was getting rejected yesterday and in pre-market, right into the 530 handle.
BNRG getting mentioned here. Remember, we had a huge move on Friday on BNRG, and then we absolutely gave everything back and more. Went lower here yesterday. Now BNRG bouncing here today. 153. This is up at the highs here. It looks like this was a dip and rip through the VWAP BNRG. Wiisa, I think you were on this one earlier today as well. Really good stuff there. Jay Summers, quick in and out on ASST. You love to see it.
That's a nice piece of news from late last month about the projected pipeline of up to 500 million. That's likely what this is moving on.
ASST, this little dip back to the VWAP and a nice little bounce. We'll see if we take the highs out there. That was a decent VWAP play for anyone that might have taken that. Can you please comment on Zscaler? Yeah, I don't mind doing that. We'll take a look here. Ticker ZS down almost 18% here today. First of all, I can't even comment on this without mentioning the trade that Anne-Marie gave us yesterday for free in the option show on Zscaler. I think if I recall the stats correctly, they were looking for like a 14 to 16 point move or something like that. I think we talked about it. Stock's down 34 points here today. So Zscaler just absolutely getting destroyed. Anne-Marie's butterflies are going to end up paying out nicely. I'm stupid. I didn't take that trade. I feel bad. She's literally sitting there giving it to us. I was like, I should probably take this. Got tied up with doing other stuff, ended up not taking it, and go figure, it works huge. So earnings here driving this thing down. Needham and Baird lowered their price target here today. That's probably causing this to move down even more after that print yesterday. Zscaler, we're kind of in a range where we're looking for a bottom at this point.
Yeah, so their earnings were actually pretty good, but the guidance is what's killing it today.
Yep.
And the fact that it's not going to meet those expectations in 2025 is why you're seeing all these analyst price target revisions and the bearish sentiment here. So let's take a look at a longer time frame and see if we can identify some levels here.
While you're doing that, the first level that jumps off the chart here to me, 13, comes right from the daily. I've got that at about let's call it 157. Maybe I don't have the number exact there, but that 157 area, this looks to be a triple bottom, near-term triple bottom here. So maybe you can trade it against that area. We're pretty much right there already.
I missed some of what you said. My headset was cutting out.
All good. All good. We basically have a level here, 157. It's currently at 160. BNRG popping through that 160 level again. By the way, GitLab here, let me go to an intraday chart. GitLab is trying to break the top off here. If we pop and go here, I think you can trim this trade, let it run.
So one thing I'm noticing about Zscaler that I'd be a little bit concerned about, you have the 500-day SMAs on your chart there?
Here, yes. So here, let me go back to a bigger chart. I didn't have it on the one that I had, but let me bring up this one, 13, and then we'll go ahead and take a look. Here you go.
I think you can already tell what I'm going to say, right?
Yeah, this broke beneath the 500-day. We really need to recapture and close above.
Right, because every time it's gone beneath the 500-day SMA, the very next day it's back up above it and rallies. So if we're not seeing that tomorrow, then that might be some bad news.
Okay, there you go. Let us know if that's helpful for you. Whoever asked about Zscaler, that would be C. I know a C, by the way, so I kind of like that name. GitLab, this is going here. Let me know if you guys are trimming this. My target here on this would be 53 plus. We're almost there. Zscaler. Also, I wanted to mention here real quick Tesla, because I know a lot of you guys have been talking about that here this morning. Tesla is absolutely going ham out of the open. Absolutely going ham out of the open. It'll be interesting to see if we can get above yesterday's intraday high. 220 seems to be the upside here today. Grats, anyone that took Tesla. I'm not in this trade. I'll be honest, though. I'd be paying myself on this one. I'd be paying myself. See, glad we could help.
Google and Tesla, the only one, Mag 7s that are up today. We have
Boom.
Nvidia down almost 1%. Looks like Meta and Microsoft might be the next closest ones to turning positive if they, the price can come back up. Amazon and Apple down over 1% each. Broadcom also down about half a percent.
Lion Atlas telling you here, I'm selling any pop. That tells me that the Lion Atlas, I don't mean this in a accusatory way, but you've been one of the buy of the dippers, right? You've been buying the dips on these stocks for profitable trades. And now it seems like maybe that's kind of changing. You're just selling any pop that you might get. Let me know. Expand on that if you don't mind. I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, I'm curious because yesterday we were looking for Nvidia. You said you were going to pick it up at 100. Is that still the plan? I'm just curious.
Jay mentioning a ticker we don't see often here, and it's a low price one. Tell you what, my chart is having a little bit of trouble loading up here, but we're going to force it. I know all the tricks for Benzinga Pro. So here, Jay, let me highlight this real quick. Pet's been buying some 2.5 March calls since the PetQ buyout. Stock's almost $1 in the money there, Jay. I'm curious to know what your trade plan is on this. This is not the greatest chart, but maybe we can rebound here.
Thought on Wind real fast. It looks like it's trying to turn around, but until it can recapture that VWAP, I think we're going to probably see a little bit more weakness. It's got to recapture the 65 EMA on the 5-minute as well. So that's going to be the first thing I look for. And right now it's beneath it. So let's say once it gets back above 440, then we might be able to see some more upside. But for the time being, I think it's still searching for a bottom.
Jay, were you mentioning Penn earlier? Penn here, ticker PENN. This is a betting stock. This having call buying. Jay, I could have sworn you had mentioned that there was call flow in this earlier. Correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, looking at the market here, 552. So we are popping here on the market.
Yep.
GitLab, I'm telling you, this is going to be key. This 53 level is going to be key here. We'll see if we can get above that. Yeah, here you go, Jay. Appreciate you. It was insider buying. Interesting. Okay, so Penn and ESTC had insider buying. Penn, I'm also seeing call flows here. Penn ripping out of the open. Jay, that was a good shout. It was a good shout here.
It looks like Lunar is consolidating above VWAP, so it can and it may eventually make a move up through that 530 area that it's been getting resistance at. So something I'm watching for right now. As long as this holds above VWAP, I still think there's a possibility this is going to end up pushing through that and get up above 538. Just need to watch for that VWAP to hold.
Okay, here we go. GitLab breaking above 53 all day. Did you see them yank it there? Did you see them? That was so dirty. They yanked it right back, but the buyer stepped back in. So here we go on GitLab. This was a nice little trade. We were looking for 53. We got 53. I would trim here. If you have a little bit, you can probably trim part of that, let this thing run. We'll see where GitLab. You know what, 13? This might be one of those spots where you use that trailing stop that you talked about, right? Throw that stop order out there as it continues to move up. Your order moves with it. And then eventually, if it pulls back, just take your gains here. GitLab break above 53. That's exactly what we wanted to see. FFIE is open here. That continuing. We're going to get halted again, aren't we?
Looks like Chewy having a good morning as well, but I think it may be finding a top about now. So if this is going to see some more upside, let's let it come in first.
Okay, so here is Chewy. Looks like we're going to attack that 30 level on Chewy. That's been a key level here. And I'll be honest, man, I do like this daily chart on Chewy. I have no position in this. Now that you're mentioning it, you're making me think about getting something here, 13. I'll keep you guys posted.
Good mention about the jolts in a few minutes. Remember, this is going to kind of be one of those little breadcrumbs we get before the big jobs, the BLS report on Friday. So I'm sure there's going to be a good number of eyes on this jolts jobs report.
Jay, Chewy just reported earnings August 28th. That was a miss, by the way, miss on the top and bottom on Chewy, and then some price target re-ratings. But the next earning isn't until what, December? I think December. Okay, it is just about 10 o'clock. You folks know what that means. It is time for the one, the only Mr. Tim Melvin. Let's go ahead and bring him on. Tim, happy Wednesday. How are you doing?
We're doing great down here in Southwest Florida. The rain has stopped for a couple hours down here. Saw a couple guys canoeing through my front yard earlier.
Tim, maybe you can help me with this. I've always been, first of all, hopefully those canoers are paying you some type of fee to canoe through your yard. If not, go get them. The other thing I'll say is I've been told that if you don't like the weather in Florida, just wait 15 minutes and it'll be different. Is that true?
No, it's
no, as a matter of fact, it isn't.
No, it's hot, hotter, and hot and wet. So, and then we have December, January, February, which is we call those laugh at people up north month.
Right. You're the folk that turn their air conditioner on for Christmas. Right.
My fall is also 2 weeks, Tim.
Yeah. So yeah, no, and right now we're in the hot and wet stage. So it's, hot as hell in the morning. Starts raining somewhere around 3 o'clock, maybe earlier if the wind's out of the south. So we've just been getting hit with the rain, but they're not hurricanes, so we'll take it.
Okay. Hey, we're going to start this one off. I want to hear what you have for us here today, but check this out. We're going to start with this Tim's curve moving on earnings here this morning. One of your picks, also Vox, by the way. I know we talked a little bit about that the last time we had you on. Vox has kept moving up too. So Tim, we're going to start with some flowers here for you. Thanks very much for all you do for our community. What do you got for us today?
Oh, I got some treats for you today. Okay, now
treats. Now we're talking, baby.
Yeah.
All
now,
right.
now the second part, teasing the future, right? Ryan, you and I have been working on a lot of screens. I just sent you a bunch of information over, all stuff we're going to be incorporating into Benzinga Pro.
I got a meeting about it later today, baby.
Yeah, and the starter kit, as I'm going to call it, it's cool. It's going to be very useful. But I'm going to tease what's to come, because we've put together over the years. And remember, for every screen that I show you, I've killed 98. Okay. And one of the things that we spent a lot of time on, talking to a lot of different guys, analysts from the technical side, from the fundamental side, is stocks to short or avoid. And that's a really hard screen. Okay. To find, because there's that general upward drift in the markets anyway. And then the stuff that's trading at overvalued tends to be really popular. So how do we screen out those where the probability is this sucker's going down? Now, it took a long time, but I wouldn't be doing all this if we hadn't figured it out, right? So stay tuned. We're going to get to that one in a minute. But I'm leading with something. I've told you guys that, I know I'm a deep value guy, and that's my reputation, and that's my core. But I read everything, and I talk to everybody. And I talked to some of the more brilliant technical guys on the planet that have developed a lot of the indicators that you guys used. Recently, two people that I have an enormous amount of respect for received an award from the Certified Market Technicians Association. And the idea of the year, or the paper of the year, or whatever the hell we want to call it, was done by two guys named Ralph Vince and Larry Williams. Now, if you've been around the markets at all, you know Larry is, right? I mean, Larry's been doing trading seminars since probably before TV. I'm not sure, a very long time. I mean, look, he just announced he's going to retire. He's 82. I mean, so he's been doing this a while.
His picks really must have been something before electricity. So
Well, I think he was one of the first ones to identify that whole electric utility trend. But anyway, Ralph Vince, a brilliant thinker, a great guy. So they teamed up on this paper, and I'm going to share this with you because it's important. You need to download this, and it's called The Ripple Effect of New Lows by Larry Williams and Ralph Vince. And this looks at new lows as an identifying pattern for buying and selling points in the market. And it's really important because it actually works really well. These are not short-term signals. Well, one of them is. But first off, you've got the selling climax, okay? And this is when you have just an excessive amount of new lows, odds are the selling is over. So when you look at this, what percent of new lows of total issues traded on the New York Stock Exchange? And Larry and Ralph only use the New York Stock Exchange data. So since 1965, 2 times, big dose, right? It's reached 70% of total volume. That new lows were 70% of total issues traded. Both times, the stock has rocketed higher with an average gain of 35%. So if you ever see that, you want to be a buyer. Now, when you get down to 40%, it gets interesting. It's happened about 6 times every few years. 100% of the time, you've been a winner with about a 21% gain. You can get this down to about 30% of new issues marking a low. This is how you're marking major bear market lows, okay? Anytime you see 30, 40% of total issues traded hitting new lows, you are very close to a bottom. And your return over the next 12 months is going to be significant. Okay, so that's one. Just put that away. You're obviously not going to see these every day. You'll see them once every couple of years at the bottom of a bear market. But right when you're in that bear market, everybody's feeling for how in the hell do I know where the bottom is? Yep. How do I know when I get into this thing? All right. So the selling climax using new lows is an incredibly effective way to identify that bottom. Now, here comes one that I just really I really like this one. It's called the period of extreme vulnerability. All right.
Okay. What is that?
Aha. Now, this is when the markets are set up in a condition where bad stuff can happen. Now, we all know you get into the lull, right, of when the market's just going up day in and day out and you're in a strong uptrend, kind of like we are now. Okay. When you see that new lows are below 3.25% of total issues traded on the New York Stock Exchange. I'm going to make this really easy for you guys. If it's single-digit new lows, that's actually the threshold right now. Okay, so if you see single-digit new lows, 65 trading days in a row, and it happens more than you think in an uptrend, you are in what is known as a period of extreme vulnerability. There traditionally has been a pullback. A significant percentage of the time. Larry and Ralph took this all the way back to like the crash of 87. The window of vulnerability opened on September 27th, 1987. And you go through, you look at 2009, in early summer of 2008, that window of vulnerability where you've had 65 days of single-digit lows has occurred. Now you got to start being careful because this is a condition that traditionally has led to really bad stuff.
Okay.
One final indicator. This one is a little bit more short term. So we're going along, we're cruising, we're having a good bull market, everything's going great. And again, just like you're always fishing for that bottom, everybody's like, okay, this is too good. When do I get out? Real simple. If you get a day where new lows are 4% of all issues traded, and it's the first, you haven't had this in a while, all of a sudden you've got a 4% day, you're out. You go flat, you go short, you get out. You hedge, you do something, because a very high percentage of the time, these occur in clusters, right? And every major crash period has been precipitated by one of these initial 4% of all issues traded new lows. And I said you can download this paper, find it, all the information, data, and the pretty charts are in there. But if all you did in life was since 1965, so this is a big database. So there's been 630 trades where you go in, you buy the first 4% down day, and you sell the first 4% down day, and you buy back in on the first day that's not 4%. Okay, you've actually outperformed the stock market by about 31% a year. You weren't even a 50% winner, but the times that you did win were massive gainers. And you got out with relatively small losses when you were not correct. So here's just a signal that says, all right, we've been cruising along. Now all of a sudden we have a down day. New lows are 4% of all issues traded. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get flat. I'm going to go short. I'm going to do something, because the market is telling me that we are now. And again, if this happens at the end of a period of extreme vulnerability, the numbers are like really good. I'll just put it that way. Read the study. So these are just using new lows and just new lows to spot selling climaxes, times to get into the market when a bear market's about to end, and great indications that a bull trend is about to end. So you can put that together with some trend indicators, and all of a sudden you got a new tool in your toolbox that's really valuable, that's been tested, and changes the probability mix of what you're doing.
Okay, that is great. Would you mind emailing that link to me and I can share it with the group? Would that be okay?
Yeah, let's see here.
You don't have to do it right now. We can actually do it after if you want as well, but I'd be more than happy to help distribute that. So awesome.
Let's just actually, I think I can do it here, Ryan, because I've got you all queued up here because you had to get the link.
Yep.
So I'll make sure it works. Okay.
Okay.
But that's a link to the CMT Association with the paper. And it's just one of those things that you don't think about. And these are not day-to-day indicators for the most part. 13, did you forget to pay the light bill?
No, it's just dark around here.
You're really totally dark there. I don't know if you're
I
doing
had a dark screen on.
Yeah, it's okay.
It kind of looks like a metal album cover, but that's just me.
Yeah,
links good here, folks. I'm going to share the document that Tim was referencing here in the chat. So there you go. There is access to that.
Yeah, look, and Ralph can be on his own. He's written a couple books, and he writes about stuff like optimal F, and the math can be dense at times. Ralph's also. He's done okay for himself.
Yeah,
is how I'll put that. Ralph's a brilliant thinker in the way he looks at markets and at indicators. So, Larry's older brother. Larry's work on Commitment to Traders, by the way, is some of the very best out there, and he has a book on it that you can order off Amazon. These guys are fantastic thinkers, and they think outside the box. And this is just a sample of their work. But again, tools for identifying important turning points in market trends. You need to have them in your toolbox. Now you do.
Amazing.
So, yeah, let's get to shorting. Shorting stocks is a pain it's hard to do. If you get it right, you can get an enormous amount of money. But ask anybody who thought they were a brilliant thinker and has been trying to short NVIDIA for the last 2 weeks because it was overvalued. They are now unemployed.
Yep. I got, by the way, fun fact. I've actually attempted a couple of shorts on NVIDIA since I think probably May, maybe a little bit earlier in this year. And I've been chased from all of them. Now I'm still employed because I follow rules, but your point is well taken.
Yeah. And stuff gets overvalued, and looking at it from a 10-year value perspective, am I going to buy NVIDIA here? No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not going to buy it. However, it's a suicide. They printed $8 billion in free cash flow, right? They have $57 billion of authorized stock buybacks. This is a market cap of tens of billions of dollars, and they doubled revenue. You want to short that? Why don't you go pick a fight with Mike Tyson? You get better odds.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, no, seriously. I mean, a lot of people have gone broke trying to short it. So, and we spent a lot of time on it because obviously, if you get a short right, you make a ton of money, and it can, particularly in a bad market, if you're short, you're going to make a ton of money, and you're going to like this a lot more than being long. Also, if we can go in and I talked about this before. It's Charlie Munger once said that if you're going through life without understanding and using probability, you're like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Okay.
That's a good one.
So one of the things that we do with these screens is we put you in a position where you're searching for longs, even as a trader, in a universe where there's a probability of going up, and you're searching for shorts in a universe where there's a probability they're going to go down. So this screen is simple, guys. Write it down because it's not going up on Benzinga Pro right away. And we'll probably do some really cool webinars on this where we explore some of the things I'm going to talk about. But real simple, price to sales over 10. Okay. Now, and I did write an article on this that's going out later this week, but I wanted to share it with you guys first. So, and I had a wise old trader one time. He's like, look, nothing happens good in a bar room after 10 o'clock at night, and nothing good happens with a stock at over 10 times sales. Okay. Now that's a little general, but 10 times sales is a point where it's getting a little pricey. You're priced for perfection. Everything has to go right. But as we've seen with NVIDIA, that's not enough. So we want to come down. We want to look at short interest, Ryan.
Okay.
And what we want to see here is we want to see that short interest is going higher. Now, short sellers get a ton of bad press. I know that. See it all the time. The short sellers did this. The short sellers did that. The short seller ran off with my wife, stole my car, kicked my dog. They're to blame for everything.
I've heard it all.
Heard it all. Here's what everybody leaves out. Short sellers, they're one of two things. They're brilliant or they're broke. All right. Shorting stocks is the hardest thing to do on the planet because of that natural drift that's in the market. It's a lot of brilliant people have gone broke shorting. So
and Tim, I think one of the other things with shorting that actually kind of compounds that, because you're right, it is the hardest thing to do. I think one of the other things is that there's almost like an allure to it, because there's like an elevator down mentality to when stocks move down. You want to capture those big gains quickly. All traders want to, but let's face it, that's very difficult.
It is very difficult. You got to put a whole bunch of stuff together for this to really all come together. So you want the overvalued, you want the price to sales to be over 10, but then you want the shorts to be increasing their position, right? Because if they're increasing the position, even as the stock is continuing to go up a little bit, they see something, right? They see something in the financials, in the business that tells, because most shorts, believe it or not, are fundamentalist first, right? They see something that tells them this company isn't everything that it's cracked up to be. Then they might apply some, technical filters. But short interest is continuing to go up. They're not covering. They're selling more, whether it's going up or going down. They're continuing to sell more.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a little bit more powerful. They're selling more as it's going down. So you've got that. You've got short interest going up. You've got overvalued. Now we want to see that where the fundamentals underneath the headlines are getting worse. So we want to see that the F score, that simple measurement that we've talked about a few times, is declining and has passed below and has gone under 4. Okay. Now, make sure I'm not leaving anything out, not leaving a thing out. Now, if you take just this universe right now, there's 55 stocks. Okay. If you had used this universe and rebalanced over the last, let's call it 25 years, because that is exactly how much data I have. So we'll use that. The market has averaged about 8% over that period of time. You about 7.3 times your money just simply sitting still and owning an index. You lost money in these stocks. Okay, so against this great drift and recovery from 2 bear markets, you lost money owning stocks that are trading at over 10 times earnings, rising short interest, and deteriorating fundamentals. So if you do this as a universe, if you wanted to use it as a short book, you can limit it to the 10 or 25 stocks are the ones that work the best, of stocks that meet all the other factors and have the highest short interest on the list. So this is a way of picking out stocks where the shorts are piling on, the stock is overvalued, the fundamentals are getting worse. Now take that universe, Ryan, and apply your technical indicators to it. And I think you've got a high probability universe anyway. You've got fundamentals getting worse, not better, like NVIDIA.
Mhm.
Okay. Sales are declining, leverage is going up. They're not buying back stock. A lot of things are not wonderful and beautiful and swell at this company. So, and it ranges from, we used a $500 million kind of cutoff. So you've got larger companies, so there'll be liquidity. You can find that if you need it. So you're building yourself a high probability of potential shorts. So now use that with your market indicators or your individual technical indicators, and your odds of success as a short seller have just gone up dramatically. And this is just a sample of what we're going to be giving folks in Benzinga Pro and talking about on Benzinga Edge, and making available to help you guys, whether you want to be an investor, you want to run a long short portfolio personally, or you just want to increase the probability of your trading universe. We're going to make these tools available to you.
Absolutely. And that's some things. This is kind of just like a preview of what we're looking for. Tim and I are going to actually have sessions where we dive into how to scan for these. We're going to show you how to do all of that within Benzinga Pro. I'm currently in the process of developing this stuff, getting our development team to add this. So thinking about it, your question here about how to find short interest flow info on charting, we're going to show you all of that stuff. Tim's just kind of giving you a preview here today. Tim, I'm really excited for this. This is going to be awesome. Like I said, this is behind the scenes. This is my biggest focus right now. It's dependent upon a lot of the other people, but really, really excited for this and excited to get some of these shows going. We're going to do it outside of live trading. And we're going to have some more visual aids to kind of help you through this. So, all right. That it for this week, Tim?
I think that's it, unless anybody's got any questions on anything we've talked about before, or, I'll answer just about anything on these.
There was one here, thinking about it, was saying buy 40% of stocks hitting new lows, sell when 4% are hitting new lows.
Yes, absolutely. And just to make sure that you understand, the 40% of new lows is going to come at the end of a bad bear market. Okay. That has traditionally happened. Like it happened in 2009. It happened like for a hot minute a day in 2020. This is how you identify the end of a really important bear market. Bear market. You're like the Haynes bottom of 2009. That's what you're looking for with the 40%. That's a big number. Then yes, you're looking for a streak where the market's been moving higher. Then out of the blue, you have a day where you have 4% of all stocks on the New York Stock Exchange hitting a new low. You're gone. It's time to get flat, get out, go short, whatever your flavor of the day is. At a minimum, you can use a black swan hedge, which, yes, I actually do know how to do that. And that's another thing that Ryan and I will be talking about at some point in time, because we've done also an enormous amount of work on black swan and hedging theory.
Okay, real quick. Tim, first of all, there's a lot of questions. Does Tim have picks here today? Tim was giving you the how. He was giving you something more important than a pick. He was giving you the how and what to look for. Tim, do you have? We've got 1 minute, less than a minute. You got one ticker to give the group here just to satiate their hunger?
Yeah, no, here we go. And this is reverse trend following in action, guys. The reverse trend out there on the planet is ag. The grains, they're terrible. They're just nasty, awful, bad. So absolutely, I'm buying an agricultural stock. Particularly, it's just CNH Industrial. We wrote about it a few weeks ago because the guys at Tweedy Brown were buying it. They're so risk adverse that anytime I see them buy something, I look. So CNH Industrial NV out of the United Kingdom. We're very bullish on the United Kingdom stock market right now anyway, because everybody on the planet hates it, except me and a couple other guys. Stock's trading at 7 times earnings, 4% dividend yield, buying back a little bit of stock. They and John Deere are the absolute global, they not just leaders, they dominate farm equipment and heavy construction equipment. So is it boring? Yeah, it is. Can it make you a lot of money? Yeah, it can. So, and that's kind of my favorite combination. Will it make you rich by next Tuesday? No, it absolutely will not. But you stick this in the portfolio, you collect the 4% dividend yield. Guys, you got global agricultural recovery in your favor. You've got the recovery of the United Kingdom market when those idiots get done doing every possible stupid thing that you could do to a government or an economy, they are perfecting it over in the United Kingdom right now. And that is exactly when you want to be a buyer of stocks. So you've got a lot of powerful trail winds, great dividend, cheap valuation, and most importantly, a dominant global market leader. These guys ain't going out of business, guys. They'll live long enough to recover.
Okay. Awesome stuff here today, Tim. Really, really appreciate it. Looking forward to the future. Do me a favor. Have yourself a great rest of your Wednesday and the rest of your week, okay?
I am going to you guys as well. Thank you for having me on. Have a great day and week, everybody. We'll talk again real soon.
Sounds good. That is Tim Melvin, folks. Thanks so much. Awesome stuff there. Again, not just things that, hey, this is things that you should own, some insight there in how to identify different trading catalysts and different situations. CNH, ticker CNH, his pick of the week. This does look like this is kind of at a bottom. Okay. You're the best, Tim. I will, Shaka, I think he left before that, but I will make sure that we tell him that. Okay. Let's get back to the main workspace here. 13. I know you were locked in while I was talking to Tim there. What did we miss?
I was having fun with ASST. That one has, it's been kind of whipping around, trying to hold above VWAP. I'm not in it at the moment. I, was just in and out of these quick trades because I don't know what it's going to do. It could break out, could go up to 395 like we were talking about earlier. But the fact that it keeps getting this resistance as soon as it gets up close to 350, I just, kind of get out and wait for it to come back down at the VWAP again.
I'm with you there 100%, 13. Look, if you get gains in these, don't be afraid to take them. Look, didn't we start the day with that exact thing? Yeah, we did. We got a nice little run up to VWAP. We got a pop above VWAP. We got a surge out of the open, and look at this breakdown in WINT. 13, when you get the gains, book them.
That's the name of the game right now.
I'm with you. I'm with you, boss. And all right, CNFR, this looks like this is totally broken down. I saw a number of you folks in the chat shouting LGMK. This is Logic Mark. This is the penny stock running du jour as this moved through 25 cents. How's Mullen doing? I almost don't even want to ask, but I kind of do. Mullen might break the double top. Look out. Who's a buyer here? I don't even want to joke about it anymore. I don't even want to joke about it. I just can't help it.
Well, if you think you can make money and you're not going to get yourself killed, go for it.
By the way, GitLab, who took this one? This, my good trade of the day here, GitLab, we were looking for above 53. This thing printed above 54. GitLab looking pretty good. Also got a $62 price target here this morning from Baird. So that looking pretty good.
SPY still hasn't really done a whole lot after, since the open. It popped up and got, above that 551.80 previous all-time high, and then as soon as the JOLTS jobs came out, it has not been able to really do a whole lot. It's kind of going sideways.
Okay, so that is what happened during that interview. Thank you for the reminder, 13. The JOLTS job openings. I'm going to go ahead and give you that data here. JOLTS job openings for July, 7.673 million versus the 8.09 million estimate. The prior read was 8.14. That number a little bit softer. 13, I saw you in the chat telling the group that this was selling off. Let me go back to my main workspace here. This was selling off on the backs of those numbers. SPY bounced right back, ended up going higher. Now we're kind of right where we were at right when that number came out here. What do you make of all this here with the JOLTS job openings?
Well, I haven't really even looked at the print. I think it was below the expectations.
It was indeed.
Okay, so I think that that lends to more of the rate cut mentality. I don't have a whole lot. I'm waiting for the BLS.
I'm with you there. And again, I'm sorry for throwing you a grenade. Looks like I've done more punishing than helping here today, 13. And I apologize. That is not the intention here. I'm with you on that. And I think the action that you saw here from the SPY kind of confirms that, right? Like we moved down on that print. We immediately bought that back up. That was almost a nothing. There. Aramis asking FFIE, is it a buy at this level? Well, if you think we can get through this VWAP and maybe challenge some of those highs, I would have to say yes. But the conservative trading approach in me says I'd wait for this volume to expand. If you take a look at these sticks, we are really kind of condensing. We're not expanding. We're really kind of decreasing here. And we would really need a pop and an expansion to get above this VWAP here. I think 6 would be the next area that we would challenge here. So to me, I don't have a long triggered yet on FFIE, but this is one you should watch for a volume pop and a move above the VWAP.
You know, ASTS is found looks like it found a bottom intraday at 28.90. It's been trying to turn around, currently above VWAP. I don't want to go so far to say it looks like this is an inverse head and shoulders that the 5-minute chart's putting on, because I just don't feel like that's enough candles, but it looks like it kind of. So if this is going to be the pattern that resolves, we're looking at possibly 32 pretty soon.
Okay. This is actually moved above the VWAP. We're trying to build above the VWAP here. Got that VWAP right there at 30.79. We'll see if this can get rolling here. ASTS.
Yeah. On your 1-minute chart, you can even see that pattern much more clearly.
Yep.
We'll see if that resolves. BNRG, that's been trying to push up as well. This is holding above VWAP at the moment. A lot of supply above it, but
indeed,
if the volume expands, it could chew through that. MACD kind of indicating that it might have some trouble, so it needs to take out that 177 and kind of nullify this curling that the MACD is putting in right now.
Okay, I love it.
What else is going on here? Looks like Lunar trying to recapture VWAP.
Shaka getting whiplash. FFIE has its moments of movement, but definitely not a buy right now. Flash to 30 seconds later. Lull, NM, FFIE starting to surge.
Yeah, this is breaking out of its.
Here you go.
Like a bull pennant, bull flag formation. It's getting back above the VWAP. If we get if this candle closes above that, then it looks like we could end up taking out the 648 high that we put in this morning.
Aramis, Chewbacca loves your stock energy here today. FFIE took off right after you asked. There you go. That's how quick things can change in that business. And Aramis, remember when you were asking me, what was one of the things that I told you to look for? The volume expanding, right? Look what we got here.
Yeah.
Look what we got here. So not only, 13, not only did we move above this level, but those volume sticks, consecutive volume sticks higher than the next. If this continues, maybe FFIE can go more. This is one of those things that you really want to pay attention to. 13, I'm sorry.
It's right. It's got a huge amount of size at 590. You need to get a big bid to come in there and take a lot of that out. It's 15,000 shares at least. It looks like if we hold above VWAP, the next candle might be able to do that. So that's what I'd be watching for. I'm not trading FFIE, but just taking a look at the 5-minute chart, that's what I'm gathering from that. Got to hold that VWAP.
Okay.
590. Yeah.
Real quickly here, GitLab getting mentioned here in the chat. GTLB is flying. So is this Christopher? Hang on. Wow. We did a couple of really similar names there. Christoph, excuse me. GitLab is fine. Still above 54 here. This was a really good winner, right? This was a really, really good winner. We popped out of the gate here, back tested that VWAP and took off here. My target was above 53, anywhere above 53. We got 54 higher here. So this GitLab trade, not in it right now, but this has been a good one. We're able to make that one. And guess what, 13's out here making me money. Here's Asts. We are starting to move away. What did you say? 32 was your target price here on Asts?
Yeah, if this resolves, it looks like 32 could be get hit here. Also, FFIE still holding the VWAP. I think we even popped up. Oh, what's the high here? 599. So it popped up over that 590 consolidation and came right back in. As long as it holds above VWAP, there's still a chance for it to push up higher and take out 648.
Okay, real good stuff here, folks. Real good stuff here. You just love to see it. You just love to see it here. Also, BNRG getting another mention here by Crow.
Yep.
Here you go on BNRG. Let's see if we can pop the top and run here, BNRG.
So Lunar was saying it was going sideways. It was more sideways earlier this morning. And then after this this drop down here, it's been slowly recovering. So I kind of get that, but wow, it's starting to move now.
Here you go. Here you go. And look at that. Another move off the VWAP. That's been a pretty decent move for us here today. Those moves off the VWAP. Asts popping here.
Yes,
3150 up here. We pop above that on Asts. I'm closing this for a gain. 13, dude. Just man. You know what? I have a Halloween costume for you and your family. I got an idea. Just dress up as an ATM, dude. Just dress up as an ATM. Just withdraw your money from 13. Just asking for stocks. Bang, bang, bang. You're an ATM for Halloween this year.
Well, what about the gentleman or lady that just mentioned BNRG? Look at this thing go. It just made the new intraday highs, 178.
So
where's their costume?
Well, I know you in real life, so I feel okay suggesting a costume. I haven't met you yet.
Don't worry.
By the way, ASTS here, 31.44. It did pop above 31.50. That trade is booked. Bang.
Yep. Making its way to 32. Almost there. Got to get this 31.57.
Wiisa curling. We'll see serve getting a mention here by Shaka. I have to type the ticker incorrectly.
That one that Tim Melvin.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I apologize to everybody here for not going to serve earlier. This thing's absolutely ramping. Chris, I know you've been absolutely blasting Tesla here today. Sorry that I'm a little late getting back to Tesla. We've actually broken out of this flag. 13, I just ran you over. I'm all types of backed up. We got tons of action today.
Yeah, it's been fun. The one that Tim Melvin just mentioned, CNFR, that one might be turning around after it's found a bottom near the 200-day that's the wrong indicator. 200 EMA on the 5-minute.
CNFR, this also butting up against that 140 pre-market support that we had identified earlier. Amanda, good morning. Morning, guys. I slept in after shorting NQ late last night. Well, hey, at least you were working, burning that midnight oil. Ryan's on his second cup. No, Ryan's actually on his first cup of tea. Have a great day, by the way, Amanda. Ryan's 2 cups of coffee already consumed here today. That's why. And Ryan is so close to football that he can almost taste the pigskin in the air. So I'm having just an absolutely amazing day. Day started off with Andrew Labos in the chat. We had Tim Melvin out here telling you how to identify bottoms. I mean, it was just, today's been a good one. Today's been a good one.
Of the Mag 7, only Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon have not turned green yet. Microsoft could be turning green pretty soon, though. ASTS, still trying to get that 32. Not quite there yet. It's got a wall at 31.55 that it needs to get past first. BNRG, new intraday high of 180.
This was so good. That was such a good call,
great.
13.
Look
at the volume. So we were just talking about volume, expanding volume being the sign for some of these. Look what BNRG did. We were hovering right here at the VWAP. As soon as we crossed the VWAP, look what the buyers did. And they gave you a trade.
No, so BNRG, that's not the one I was on. I'm on Lunar.
No, I know. I'm just identifying the chart here. Okay. Sorry. Here's Lunar.
I want to make sure that whoever mentioned BNRG gets the credit.
That was Crow, I believe, today.
Okay.
This was initially, I believe, a Jay's Life call, but today it was Crow. Crow saying we'll cut BNRG above 2. So you know where the seller is now. Sorry, Crow. Oh, good times, though. How's Mullen doing? Sorry, I even asked. AAOI, we talked about this one yesterday, didn't we? This actually broke above yesterday's high. This is pretty decent here.
It was a better day than yesterday.
So Fairchild's asking, so the international NFL stuff, is this to expand popularity globally? Yes, this is exactly what they are trying to do. And by all measures, they are successful in doing this. One of my buddies who's loved football his entire life lives in London and is constantly telling me how excited a lot of these people that are generally just European football fans, how excited they are to have the NFL proliferating there. He says when you go to games in Europe, you see jerseys from every team, historical, current, the whole 9 yards. So there's definitely an appetite for that, Fairchild.
That's awesome. And hey, Harry Potter likes the NFL too. Did you know that? Daniel Radcliffe's a big NFL fan.
No, I did not know that, but that's good.
So that's how you that's a little helpful to the whole bringing the NFL to different countries. I know they've had a lot of games.
Yeah, it sure is.
They've had games in of course London. They've had games in one other spot too, but I think the Brazil one's the newest location, right?
Yeah, that game, that Brazil game, that's going to be really interesting, by the way. We haven't really talked about that. Not really trying to dive into politics here. The Brazil game is actually the day after tomorrow. It's going to be Friday night. It's that Eagles game. Here's the interesting part about it. We all know about the X being banned in Brazil, and they're going to fine you $9,000 per tweet, whatever craziness they're talking about. Here's the craziest part about that. Reporters, American reporters that cover the teams and players cannot tweet. So you're not going to get any tweets about that game on Friday. You're going to have to get all of your clips and highlights either after the fact or from the broadcast.
Tony D, it's called 12-inch ball in Europe because they have a different football. Just kidding. It's
is
American.
that? Oh, okay. I was going to say, is that really what they call it? Because that's insane.
No, it's not. No, that was just a Imperial versus American.
Anthony. Sorry for interrupting you, Anthony. Here, I had heard this too. Players were told not to leave the hotel in Brazil. In fact, they started asking some of the Eagles about this, and some of the Eagles players, I believe, were like, "No comment. I don't even want to talk about it." So, look, I don't root for either team. It's the Eagles and who else? Help me out, chat. Eagles game this week. Let's see if I can beat the chat here. No one's told me yet. No one's told me yet. Come on. Green Bay. Fairchild, you beat me. 13, where were you at? I expected you and Amanda to be slapping me with something.
I wasn't paying attention to the question. I was reading the chat because Shaka is shooting coffee out his nose.
Well, okay, good. What I will say here is I obviously don't root for the Eagles or especially the Packers, but I do hope that all of these players don't have any trouble with a lot of this world stuff going on. Like, they're here to play a game. They don't have a choice. They have to go where their team goes. I just hope everyone is healthy. Nobody gets hurt in that game, and there's no extracurricular activity. If that all happens, we'll be good. We'll be good.
So ASTS got as high as 31.92. I'm sorry, it's not the 32 I was looking for. I hope you can, forgive me for the 8 cents it didn't make.
I banked on this trade, so you can have no issues from me. So I get myself a steak for dinner tonight because of that. 13.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go. And ASTS, I mean, it still doesn't look like it's done. Could still see 32, but keep in mind this consolidation that we got in the pre-market here, that's the demand. I'm sorry, that's the supply zone that I'd be worried about it getting through. And also you can see from our price ladder there, never mind, it just took out 32.
Really quickly, Market Sniper saying, I lived in Brazil. The U.S. makes it seem way, way, way more dangerous than it is. USA propaganda. Let me readjust what I was saying here. I've heard nothing but good things about Brazil, especially for tall gentlemen like myself. But what I'm referring to here is the new stuff that's kind of happened recently. Like, if an American player tweets while they're in Brazil, they are subject to fines. That is not propaganda. That is legit. And I just don't want to see any of that happen. Like, let them play the game, let them get back, and then deal with whatever issues they need to deal with.
Well, anyway, it looks like ASTS did hit 32 after all. So yay. Hope you guys I still think that that consolidation from pre-market where it creates this overhead supply, still think that's going to be problematic for ASTS when we get up closer to about, let's say, between 32.40 and 32.50. Might have some issues with that supply.
We printed 32s, by the way. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
13.
Oh no! Do I get a register ring? Oh, no. Okay. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. He loves your stock calls here today.
Okay. Well, I'll give him.
And you know what? 13. I'll be honest. Honestly, I could have not prepared at all today. I could have woke up late. I could have pulled an Amanda, just slept in, woke up late, strolled out here without showering, just listened to what you said, and I'd have made money today. Just an extremely good job on your part with some of these calls here today. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. I just hope everybody's making money. All I want.
Asst is continuing to move here. How's Tesla doing? Chris, I know you're probably ready to slap me because Tesla has been ripping all day and you've been trading it and I've been out here talking about other stuff. Chris, I'm going to retroactively give you a bunch of sound effects here. Actually, we've got the perfect one for Tesla.
So let's see here. So ASTS, that one's getting close to where I was, worried about the consolidation. So keep an eye on that. ASST, that one's looks like it's going lower. I'm just cycling through some of these now. Lunar, that consolidated for a bit and looks like it's pushing up higher. New intraday.
FFIE, maybe watch that through 6 here. Man, this thing is all types of strong.
Not sure how high Lunar is going to go. It's got to get past that 538, the pre-market high. And this is also in the area where it's been getting all kinds of resistance since yesterday. What else?
Lunar, here's that pre-market high. Now, this is actually a former consolidation level 2 here on Lunar.
Mm-hmm.
Lunar doesn't like moving higher. Beware, y'all.
It's not bad. Put him pointing that out. This is slowed down ever since it got up to this pre-market high here. So it's either going to have a really big, violent volume expanding move through all this supply, or it's going to just say, nah, that's it, and come down. ASTS, this thing is just ripping.
GitLab at the highs.
Still hasn't made its way through that consolidation yet, but it's close. 32.75 is the pre-market high. That inverse head and shoulders appears to have been resolved at this point.
PLTR call. That's the first Palantir call I've seen today. What's going on with Palantir, AC2000?
That had a nice drop.
The dip and rip.
Yep. Down under 30.
What happened here? Had no news on this. Just really good trading action here. Dip and rip on Palantir. LQR, penny stock, looking like this is going to try and go for some highs. Got a big volume pop there, LQR.
If the QQQ holds here, we're going to finish the day up around 468 to 470. Let me take a look here at Qs. I want to see what you're talking about.
I can bring it up here. Visual aid for the group.
Let's take a look at the daily chart.
Larry, Serve has been insane. Serve was really ripping earlier. I didn't have that one on my list at all. Congrats to you. Look at this. It's still doing it. It's actually printing even bigger volume sticks on Serve since the last time that we looked at it. This is where we looked at it. So, massive volume here on Serve. Big rip. Great move here, Larry.
Shocker. That's, yep. Serving it up.
Do you remember that? You got served? Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't they make a movie? Hang on.
Oh, geez. Now we're looking like boomers.
I am a boomer. I mean, look, I'm not. Yeah, they did. This was a 2004 flick. You got served about breakdancing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember. All right. So,
that's good times right there, folks.
That 20-day SMA, I see that that is right at 467.66. So I see what you're referring to as far as that resistance area. ASTS finally looking like it's getting weak after hitting that consolidation that I was concerned about. So this looking like it's behaving pretty well with those technicals. What
Here you go.
Here, man, Lunar's looking strong, folks. Lunar's looking strong.
Look at that. Look at that move there on Lunar. Oh, Shaka, now you know how I feel. Just absolutely absolutely jinxing stocks when you talk about them. I'm gonna make a comment here about lunar spiking to highs. It's immediately gonna pull back.
Oh, okay. Time to sell. Looking around at some of these other ones, Wiisa looks like it's trying to turn around. Volume's not great in that, but the MACD is indicating that it's trying to curl and get back to VWAP at the very least. ASTS kind of pulling back. BNRG.
This Wiisa could still curl, recapture VWAP, and give a trade. BNRG pulled off those highs.
Shaka, even I'm not right, all the time. Everybody's wrong at some point.
Everybody is. Anne Marie and I were just discussing last night how Warren Buffett and Paul Tudor Jones, they're wrong all the time. Just got to deal with it. Got to learn how to deal with that. Yeah. Amanda, we shouted this one out while you were still waking up this morning. The Zscaler, I'm actually pissed at myself, like legit upset with myself for not putting this trade on, despite having Anne Marie literally hold my hand and walk me through the trade. I still didn't put it on. That thing, oh man, that thing did well. Grats to anyone that took that.
Shaka, you're right. Rocket Lab is a cheeky runner, and I think this is a little bit of an under the radar SpaceX competitor. I know some people know about Rocket Lab and how well they're doing and how they are a SpaceX competitor, but I don't think people enough investors realize how much competition they're going to be bringing to SpaceX. So I think this is going to end up being. I think this is going to be the biggest competitor to SpaceX, not even Boeing or anybody else. It's going to be Rocket Lab, in my opinion. They're doing some really good things over there. Now, as far as this move that we're getting today, this might not be done. It started in the middle of August. We popped up and consolidated around in the 7 area before we came back in and got support from the 20-day SMA. I'd be looking for this to continue moving up and take out that consolidation. Don't know how long that's going to take to do, but that's the next anticipated move I'd be having for this company.
Jay here. This is OKLO. This is a stock that I see on FinTwit. One of my other buddies that's a trader talks about trading this one all of the time. OKLO, going to take 5 years for the product. This thing bleeds lower, but the concept here is great. Jay, what is the product here that has got you excited? Advanced fission power plants to provide clean, reliable, and affordable energy at scale. No wonder this is going to take 5 years for a product. No wonder. That is, there are a number of people that I kind of follow, market related, that do trade the stock. Though you're onto something there with that one, Jay.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's going to take a while. I mean, this thing lost over $500 million in the last quarter. Hopefully, they don't go broke low.
GitLab actually trying to break its highs again here today. Been a really strong stock here. GitLab.
Wiisa tracking to VWAP. Yeah, it should be getting back there. Let's take a look and see where it's at now. Oh, it did go back to VWAP. Perfect. So there was that move that we were looking for. Now to see if it can move through it. Need more volume to keep going. If we do move through this and we start closing over VWAP, then the pre-market, the intraday high that we have here is 250, and I'm looking for 265. Wow. Lunar's just having a day. ASTS still kind of consolidating at that area I was talking about. It looks like as long as it can hold up here, it's making higher lows. This could push up through that 3275. Got to hold up here though. Archer's having a good day too.
FFIE did not break that 6, really kind of traded back down to the bottom end of the range there. WINT, I'll tell you what, you had one chance at this trade earlier. You called it in the pre-market when we were going over the list here, and after that, that was it. That was it. There was nothing left on this one. Nothing left. And we still don't have one here.
It didn't even get up to that level
Nope.
I was looking for the triple
Nope.
top.
Nope.
But I'm not going to count it down and out. I think I'd be curious to see what happens somewhere between 330 and 340. There's the after hours consolidation. That's kind of where it was basing out. It even got as low as 301 in the after hours, but I don't necessarily think it's going to get back that low. I think you have a good chance of seeing this demand zone pick up as soon as it gets into that that area between 330 and 340. Oh, great point, Fairchild. DJT, he's going to Trump's going to try to dump his stock on. Is he going to try to dump his stock when it's unlocked? My understanding is that that's probably going to be what he's going to do. I think this whole thing was to raise money. I'm not necessarily convinced that his Truth Social platform's going to be successful, especially since he's still posting on X.
Yeah, I think being let back here on X probably the death blow for that. I mean, maybe they try to acquire something like a Rumble down the road. I don't know about that. I can't forecast when he's going to sell those. I'd be honest though, like the advice that we've been giving on trying to trade this thing for however long has been just avoid it, right? Just avoid holding it overnight. You're going to day trade it in the middle of the day. That's one thing, but just avoid holding it overnight here. As far as that sentencing thing, I think that's a throwaway.
It's super volatile stock. Comes with tremendous risk if you're going to hold on to it. So be careful with it.
Yeah.
I think it's just a day trade only, like Ryan said.
Yeah.
But I think that he may end up just selling out and being done. So
yeah, that's not one. I like how Shaka put this here. Nightmare fuel. I don't need any of that, Shaka. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't need any nightmare fuel. That's for sure.
So ASTS had a pop up through that consolidation. It was a pretty good amount of volume. Got to 33.23, and that is the current high that we have now. Not sure if we're going to go much higher than that, but that was a nice move. So we'll see what happens from here. Not sure what we're going to get going forward. I
like how Jay put this too on DJT. Fundamentals suck, so don't even think about that. It's all about the squeeze. I don't think we've got that set up here, Jay. I think you're on with that one.
It's just a catalyst-driven nightmare fuel.
Exactly. It's not. Yeah, 13. You've been consistent as well. This is not something to hold overnight or invest in. You've been on that forever.
ASST finally seeing some weakness. This is getting closer to the open. Looks like they might find support around 245. We'll see if that happens.
Someone's buying Boeing calls. Oh, never mind. They only bought 10.
Redfin been taken off. I think this thing is squeezing.
RDFN on that one. Remember that pulled back from that recent high. Actually, a fairly decent daily setup here. We'll see if we can get above that double top that we kind of put in here. What is this? Well, no. Maybe it's not really. It's already kind of taken that high out. 1180s, 1190.
Florida and Texas condo supply is piling up as sales slow amid high HOA insurance costs. So apparently that means that Redfin's going to have a good time, dealing with that. All right. Looks like BNRG.
All right.
BNRG is now losing VWAP. This end, it's crossing. The MACD is crossing to the downside, so this may be seeing the end of the upside movement here, either for today or just for the moment. Looks like Archer may end up getting to 355 before running into some resistance. So we'll see if that's
Boeing.
What's going on with Boeing? Is that running up?
Right now, Boeing has put in a ton of new highs. Boeing's put in like 120 new highs. Redfin has put in 179 new highs here today. Here's that Boeing print. These definitely have some mo here today. Microsoft, 100 new highs. That was way different than yesterday.
Wiisa is halted to the upside. That exploded.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Congrats to anyone that was holding that. Hopefully you trimmed into that. Michael Storm, you were all over that.
Yep. Everybody's all the dip buyers are coming in. We have SPY now up above. Well, it's not. It hasn't hit 555 yet, but we're up above the 552. We're at 553 and 67 cents. That's recovering. Kind of wondering if we're going to see some weakness hit the market and hit it in a very bad way, and just kind of make this bull party disperse. Yeah, Redfin having a great day. VCI, no. Bitcoin.
Which one are you looking at?
I'm just kind of going through my list here. Bitcoin looking pretty good. That actually recovering off of the double bottom here around the 56,180 area. Looking like it wants to recapture 58.
AAOI bought the pullback. Nice job on that one. That's the AAOI has given us some good trades too, Parker. That nice job sticking with that one. Nice job on that. All right, folks, we got 3 minutes left here. We are going to have Zunaid hop on here before we send it over. It has really been an awesome day. Shout out to the entire chat community. You guys have been doing great. Tim Melvin was awesome. Really, really good stuff here. Looking forward to doing some more of this here this week. So stick around here. We are going to have Zunaid joining us shortly and giving us the rundown on what's next. We're going to miss you too, Shaka. Don't you worry about that. We're going to miss you too. We're going to be back. Everything's going to be okay. Nice job there on Wiisa, Michael Storm. Nice job.
It sounds like the chat's winning today, and that's exactly what I want to hear.
Yep, it sure does. VKTX, did we get a reversal there, Crow? Yep, we're still beneath 60 here, but that looking pretty good. Maybe we hold this area and trade back up towards that 70 handle. How do we finish here on NVIDIA?
Yeah, line outlets. I don't know about tomorrow. But I think that we're probably going to end up seeing some selling post rate decision, which is next week on the 12th, I believe.
After all of that, rate cuts being a sell the news event, how about that? I hope that's what we get. Honestly, that would be hilarious. Tesla here still up around 220.
I'm sorry, it's the 17th to 18th. That's when the FOMC meeting is. I think the 12th is a different report. Maybe that's a CPI. Let me double check.
All right.
What up? Oh, I'm short. I'm short as anything. I gotta. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
it was the volume. It was the volume. You came in.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I was trying to be like Boeing. That's all.
CPI is on the 11th. PPI is on the 12th.
Sinead, I love, first of all, 13's trying to be serious and give us dates here. And you're just coming in with jokes like that are pretty awesome. Really good stuff. Sinead, what do you got coming up next here? I'm not even sure I can top that. So we're just going to go to you.
That's quite all right. Well, 13, I didn't want to, you're good on your dates. You're good info. I didn't interrupt.
Oh yeah. I'm all related. I can leave now.
Oh, well, as you say goodbye here in a minute, we've got Ben and his crew from Story Trading hanging out with us as well.
Awesome.
And then after that, you've got an all access with AB. He's going to go ahead and lead this one with BullRush. So a couple of exciting things happening. And any final thoughts from you two?
I'm just really pleased to see you pass the torch to little Zunaid, to AB. That's really, that might be the news of the day here. I love seeing that. All jokes aside here, have a good one with Story Trading. Excited.
I appreciate it, man. Take care. Ryan,
Take care,
13. Folks. Take care as well. All right, Ben, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to rock. Go ahead and bring you right back on. I'll switch the banners out. What's going on, man? Tell me if you had, thank you. Who did that? AT? I think you did that. Appreciate it. Tell me you had puts yesterday on NVIDIA.
Put? No. I've been avoiding NVIDIA for a couple months, though. But what we did have is calls on ASTS going into today. ASTS up 13%. That's been a top pick in our community. Last week, we issued a 4-pillar trade card on it. Yesterday morning was our top day traded pick. Today, our top day trade pick up 14%. So we'll be talking about that a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking at, something here. Let me just go and present my screen and then I'll bring up the gang here in a moment, but it's a main thing that I see here as soon as I looked at this chart was you had support right at this $28 area. So you tested it once,
We called it
twice,
last
3
night,
times,
28.10. Yep.
and it worked out there perfectly. Let me go ahead and bring on the crew. What is going on, fellas? Good morning to you. The show's all y'all, so I'll be in the back. I'll be back at 11:30 for All Access.
Awesome. I'll see you. All right. Everything going?
Pretty good.
Morning, guys.
What's going on with you?
Awesome. I am pumped for today. Our top picks this morning on the show were ASTS, AMD, near high day here, Alibaba, which is up, but not performing as well, and Burn, BYRN, up 25%. So let's dig into it first. A quick macro overview this morning on SPY. We noted the importance of the 20 DMA level, 20 DMA, or was it the 50 DMA? 20 DMA actually moved up today, other than yesterday. So I got to call it 50 DMA. 50 DMA, 549.11. 549.11 held 549.11 this morning. And we had a couple very strong stories. My gosh, ASTS over the weekend. We were writing the storm on ASTS. Many positive catalysts on ASTS. It was our top pick yesterday morning. We swung it into today. Top pick this morning. Finally, here comes the payoff, plus 13%. Thank you, the Godfather S. Mantle, for bringing this idea to our community. What you got on your mind about ASTS?
Yeah, look, it's difficult to time this thing, but you were bang on in calling it at the 20 DMA. I think it was 28.10. It ticked right at that level, bounced up from there. I expected the press release yesterday because the folks from the Space Mob had already seen that launch date. I think originally it was posted as 13th or Friday the 13th, so I was a bit nervous about that, but I'm happy that it's rescheduled to the 12th. Anyway. We're getting the response that one would expect, given the short interest in the stock, and
beautiful. Look at that hammer candle right off the 20 DMA. Beautiful.
It's been a beautiful one to hold a core position in and trade around, and that's exactly.
I've also yesterday, Friday, and today, 3 days in a row. Even today after the move, I added more to my long-term position. So yeah, I'm trading it. But you convinced me on the fundamentals. I did a little research into it, and I'm sold. So it's now my third largest position in my long-term account. ASTS, we have a $39 price target on it. Basically, we're forecasting we're going to break the proximal high of 39.08 based on this low RSI that we got, plus all the recent catalysts over the weekend. So this might just be the beginning. It's a big short position, eh?
It's a big short position in excess of 20%. There has been some noted covering, and then I think there was some noted reshorting again by the guys that track it on a daily basis over the fears that the launch might have gotten delayed, given that SpaceX topple over. But here we go. We're right back on again, and I think the other thing to note, of course, is the almost tripling in price target by Deutsche Bank this morning.
Oh, yep. That was one of the reasons we made a top pick today.
So
22 to 63, was it? Yeah, 22 to 63.
22 to 63. And so
it was, I could not believe the stock actually went red this morning. I'm like, I didn't have that on my bingo card. I was buying, I had call options. I sold all the call options this morning for like 100% gain. I guess I should have held them, but I did. I kept on buying common shares on the way down, on the way flip red. I kept on buying common shares this morning, and boom. So I can't believe we actually did a complete gap fill from yesterday's close and then some. That was crazy.
Well, you called it to buy it right as it dipped 330 again this morning. So I give you full kudos on that.
Cool. Awesome. By the way, if there's any questions, comments, you can put it in the chat. Rhett is monitoring that. He'll bring anything to our attention. Another top pick we had today was AMD. Now, I played. I'm actually still in just one call option, but I was a little hesitant on this. I did common shares in the morning, which worked out, made a little money. Did some call options in the morning, but there was a lot of chop here in the morning, and it was following SPY. So I'm like, why do I want to be in something that's basically following SPY when I have something like ASTS, which is going to do its own thing and will probably do a V recovery regardless of what SPY does. So I ended up selling most of my AMD. I kept one call option just to track it here. But AMD, very strong story, man. If I wasn't so worried about the overall market, I would have been balls to the wall in AMD this morning, because we had a dual catalyst yesterday. DOJ, it's revealed there's a DOJ investigation, subpoenas going for antitrust investigation into NVIDIA. And on the same day, after hours, it's revealed that that AMD poached a candidate, poached an executive from NVIDIA to come be the vice president of one of their AI divisions. So that's like a double whammy of a great catalyst on AMD, because now the logic goes, right? Some people are like, all right, well, maybe it's time to rotate some money out of NVIDIA and into AMD. NVIDIA up 2%, AMD up 4%. Help accelerate AMD taking either some market share away from NVIDIA or improving their product with this new hire and maybe increasing some pricing power, improving the margins. That was the thesis this morning. That's why it was their second pick of the day after ASTS, which keeps on going. Man, I guess I should have held the call options, but it's okay. We're trading those common shares. So AMD, second pick of the day. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not with you in that trade, but that's only because I am short XOXS, sorry, this morning. So, short the short as opposed to short the triple short as opposed to long the long. But this is a reversal of where I was yesterday. I bought the VIX starting the day. I expected to be in the trade for maybe 10 minutes, which is why I didn't get loud about it. And then the trend just carried throughout the day. Volatility peaked right at the end of the day. We had another opportunity to sell it first thing this morning, which is what I did. And then I reversed the trade by getting in and shorting the SOSX.
Very nice. Nicely done over here.
3.3% on the Qs yesterday. We started off September with a bang in terms of volatility, as was expected. SMH is highest beta in market, and so I'm not surprised it was there. I think that these big cap techs are being used as a source of cash, and certainly that's where the bulk of returns are. So as we get closer to the end of the year, institutions come back, they want to protect their returns for the year. So I'm not surprised that you're seeing that there in the high beta, high multiple names. So, but it just seemed a little bit extreme because SOXS was up some 27% yesterday. So just a reversion to the mean.
All right, sounds good. Then our third, if there's anything you want to bring, just jump in. By the way,
sounds good. We'll do.
All right, third pick was Baba, but this is a swing trade. Like I put this up every day the last couple of days. As I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday morning or the other day? It was down. One of these days it was red. I'm like, all right, great day to pick some up. I think. Remind me of the dates here, The Godfather. Is there a vote tomorrow? And then if that passes,
the vote is tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. The vote for Cross Connect is tomorrow, and that's for them to be listed on Shanghai and Shenzhen. And the actual listing date is then the following Monday, the 9th of September. But I expected the trade to be front run a little bit, and it has. But headwinds in the market have sort of muted things a little bit. Otherwise, I would have expected a.
I mean, it was front run a little bit. That news, I think, initially came out after the close on August 29th. So you can see it's up from there. But we had this big pullback because of PDD earnings. Do I have it wrong? Was it up here? Maybe it was up here after August.
It was up around 85.40, if I recall, when I first looked at it and first put the trade on. So it must have been after August 22nd. He knocked it down to under 80. That's right. Yeah.
There we go. So this big gap here. So it's actually now trading where it was before the news was announced because of that PDD earnings, which took a toll on Baba. So I think there's a great opportunity here. In fact, man, with the catalyst tomorrow, I think I might add more call options to swing into tomorrow. This could be fun.
Yeah, again, it's going to be a multi-period swing, not a day trade. But if the precedence with Tencent and some of the others that have gone through this process holds, that could see a flow of funds. I think guys that track that have mentioned numbers in the $10 to $20 billion range, which isn't massive relative to Baba's market cap, but given the first time to own these things on mainland China, and this is such a big name, obviously, I think it's got some merit, this trade.
Yeah.
Can we go ahead and talk about mRNA?
mRNA?
Yep.
mRNA. All right, we'll get to that. Let me just we'll get to that after. There's one or two more stocks I want to go through from this morning, and then we'll talk about mRNA. That'll come up next. So the fourth stock we picked this morning was BYRN, up 27%. Man, I'm kicking myself because I had a nice entry at 1170, and I just took a little bit of a scalp at 1224. I sold it, and I was looking for a re-entry. Didn't get it. This company pre-announced revenue of over 20 million, beating analyst estimates of 16 million. So 25% beat on revenue, and they're already profitable. Something, potential big opportunity there now I don't know, but we brought that to your attention on the morning show. That's some of the gems you get on our pre-market prep at 9 a.m. in our Discord community. Look at this over here. It looks like it wants to move back to the proximal high of 1534, and it makes sense. If you were able to get to 1534 without this big revenue beat, then it makes sense that you'd be worth at least 1534 after that. But I don't know this company very well. I had a caveat because I did notice that their revenue was over 20 million last quarter. So why were the analysts at 16 million and not at 20 million plus? So I wasn't 100% sure if this was truly a surprise or not. So I wasn't all over it, but folks got that alert to look into it this morning, up 27%. You got the alert at $11.70 this morning.
By the way, I put that on my fundamental research list. It's not a name I'm familiar with, but I intend to.
Oh, cool! I mean, their product is very cool. It's a non-lethal gun you can buy on Amazon that shoots rubber bullets and pepper spray bullets. So my friend has one. I took a look at it. Very interesting. All right, so that's a new stock to research. Let's quickly look at mRNA, then we'll get back to our list over here. mRNA, not a stock I trade, but I'll give you my quick analysis on it. I don't know if there was just a catalyst that just hit. Whoever told us about that, Pavan Kumar, if there's a catalyst that just hit, or if someone wants to look up what that's about. This is a vaccine stock, I guess. It had its heyday in the COVID days, up over 500. Now that daily chart, the weekly chart doesn't look really great. Overall, why bother? COVID's over. There's another, what's the other vaccine stock that just had this big deal with Sanofi? What's that?
No, it wasn't Pfizer.
No, it was another one. They just had a big deal with Sanofi, like $1 or $2 billion deal. That one might seem more interesting, but the name escapes me. It's not mRNA, but if anyone knows what NVAX, thank you, Robert. NVAX to me seems a little bit more interesting than and look, and the chart is also, see that? Look at that chart. That's a much more beautiful chart. The weekly chart, the daily chart, much better than mRNA, but I'm not an expert in the sector by any means. I just know that they have this nice deal with Sanofi that boosts the fundamentals and the balance sheet, and they remove the going concern. So that to me seems a lot more interesting than whatever's going on with mRNA. All right. Let's move on back here to our list and go down, see what else is on our radar we want to talk about. Sympathy moves in Lunar and Rocket Labs this morning. Both of these, I think, are interesting fundamentally as well. And Lunar had that moon contract with NASA, $117 million deal last week on August 30th, Friday, August 30th. So interesting little bit of follow through. I think even though, fundamentally, these are not the same companies at all. Like ASTS is really a communications company. They happen to be firing rockets into space, right? So it's different than what Lunar and Rocket Labs are doing. But from a sentiment perspective, average Joe perspective, I think a lot of times they're lumped into the same bucket. So I've seen this trend when ASTS is up big, you'll see Lunar and Rocket Labs up big. And that's what we have, up 5%, up 5%, up 13%. There is a sentiment impact there because people just group them in as space plays. Okay. So Rocket Labs is a core long-term position for me, by the way. A little bit of Lunar for a trade as well today. The Godfather, AAOI, unbelievable. You've been pounding the table on this stock in our community since, I don't know, $7, $8.
$6, $6.50, $6.70, I think, precisely.
You have been pounding the
channel.
And I didn't listen to you. Shame on me. I mean, I was in it here and there, but not as a core position. that I
Well,
held through this whole period.
Let me give you the quick and dirty on this thing. This thing is management is disappointed, overpromised, underdelivered for 2 to 3 quarters now. It's in the optical interconnect business, so you can transfer data as light at speeds that are 160 times that of copper. So there is a bottleneck in data centers for data transmission speed that this solves. And if you look at their peers, the coherence of the world, Light, Fabrinet, so on, these guys are all showing you that there's tailwind. Their 800 gig product is in high demand from data centers. But the best way, and what I had on was a barbell here. I owned the cream of the crop, which was also the largest position in Druckenmiller's portfolio, that being Coherent. And then I bought, the garbage stock, which was this one in the same business, because a rising tide lifts all boats. The important thing to note here is that the float is only 37 million and there's 10.4 million short, which gives you a short interest around 28%, which is why you're seeing such volatile moves. So their most recent quarter, management really lacked what I thought was good energy on the call, but nonetheless, they pointed to the fact that they continue to get and see demand from core customers, and they've added some new data center customers for their 800 gig product. So they are going to start to see a pickup in that business, which is higher margin business than their core business that they're working on now. So this comes in the second half of this year. I thought it was only a matter of time before this thing starts to see some squeeze interest again, and there's some big gaps in the chart. If you look at it, the last time it traded up in the sort of $16 to $18 range, and in the early part of the year was actually trading with a 2 handle. So, we're getting back up there again. It's not the same risk reward it was in the $6, $7 range, but another interesting point to note is that CRDO, Credo, is one of their strategic partners, and they manufacture stuff together. They report today after close. So there'll be another read through into this business from those guys. I think it will be a strong report. I follow this company as an ancillary to AAOI and COHR, so I don't know it well enough to want to get long going into the quarter, and it's a dodgy market in terms of responses to even good results. So I don't like that as a risk reward, but nonetheless, I'll be watching that closely.
Awesome. Look at that. That's the expert there on AAOI. And by the way, he also brought ASTS and Alibaba to our community. So lots of great information coming from the Godfather. If you want to get his work every day in our community, you can head on over to storytrading.com/The Godfather Knows, I believe is the link for the Godfather. Do you want to double check that for me, Rhett? It's been a while since. Just double check that link works, storytrading.com/The Godfather Knows, and then you can get all of his great research in our community. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. Lunar. Ooh, nice. I got a little bit of Lunar. I'll get back to trading that after the show is over. Let's look at the daily chart on Lunar. Did he look into Lunar at all after that award they got Friday?
Did I look into it?
Yeah.
I haven't gone and done a full fundamental bottom up on the name. I know when I did look at the group, ASTS is a completely different story. It's a recurring revenue, provisioning broadband or 5G to regular handsets from space, as opposed to Lunar and Rocket Labs, which are space infrastructure plays. I like the base fundamentals to both of those businesses. I think with SpaceX 200 billion plus valuation out there, there's plenty of room in terms of multiple and in terms of valuation expansion for some of these other players. And clearly space is an area that's seeing a great deal of momentum, not just from government contract work, but civil contract work. So and there's a limited number of players, and there's even more limited number of publicly listed companies. So you get scarcity premium. So from a trading standpoint, there's lots of reasons to think that the wind's going to be at your back with these names.
Yeah, and Lunar, I think, also has a big short position. Let me just check what we're at now on that. Latest short position. Oh, it's pretty big. 10.5 million shares, 4 days to cover. 10.5 million shares, 4 days to cover. It's trading at high of day right now. I'm in this. Look, I don't know. I might try to hold a little bit for a break of 612. We'll see. Friday was disappointing.
Yes, 20% short position. That's
it is something. It is something, and there's a possibility they'll get more awards this month, from my understanding. So Lunar might throw that at the top of the watch list for the rest of the day. A couple others we're going to mention here. Man, we had a great call in Hawaiian Electric yesterday. Made a couple 100% on call options in the middle of the day. Saw this bouncing up here, and we called this out in the community with the target of the 200 DMA at $12.14. Should have held some of those call options overnight. I didn't, but I do have a fairly large common share position, which I'm currently down on. Overall on this idea, up very, very large, because we called the bottom at $7.70, believe it or not, on July 9th, $7.70, and we held that through most of this move up towards $16 to $18. So that was, and that's a lot of that was call options too. So I made a killing on that, re-entered with common shares, and then down on that common share tranche right now. But yesterday's call, really awesome on HE, looking good at a key inflection point here at 20 and 50 DMAs. There might be some news pending soon on the settlement out there in Hawaii on the Maui fire. So that was a nice call we had yesterday in the community. Let's see what else we got here.
Do you want to talk SOC?
SOC, yeah. Let me get to SOC in just 1 second. Oh, there, SOC's next. Okay, I just want to point out AV drone company that they won almost a $1 billion. Oh, look at ZVSA, not ZVRA. Okay, so AV on this day here, August 28th, they got something like a 900, just short of $1 billion deal with, was it NASA? Drones?
It was one of the government agencies. I can't recall.
It was one of the government agencies. Maybe it was the military. I don't know. But in any case, they had a big gap up, and they have earnings tonight. Is that right?
Yes, after close today.
Okay, so that was a nice alert by you earlier in the Discord. So I got in when you alerted that, thinking we'll see an event anticipation run into the 3-4 p.m. hour, just because of where it was, right? If it was worth over 210 after that deal was announced, shouldn't it be worth at least 210 going into ER? That's the logic I'm using for a potential event anticipation run. But I'll be selling before the earnings. I don't know enough of about this company to make an ER bet on that. Are you playing this right now?
I'm not playing it into ER just because of the volatile market backdrop. It's always kind of binary going into earnings. So yeah, I don't know the company that well. I'm watching it as a sentiment and proxy play to what's going on in drones for my small cap pick RCAT.
Yep, and that's a good point here. The crowd, DXYZ, that's the only way you can play SpaceX directly. Let's see what that's trading at now. But it's a very small percentage of their assets are part of SpaceX. So this gets like some sentiment moves when there's big news around SpaceX, or like a new valuation round or something, a new fundraising round that sets a higher valuation. You get like big pops in DXYZ, but it's not fundamentally cheap. It's just a tiny portion of what they own. And there was something else. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, I'm just kicking myself over this beautiful 1170 entry that I had in pre-market. And there was big size available on the Asst too. I'm like, should I do big today? But I'm like, we already got ASTS. That's going to be our star for the day. So I didn't feel like taking much risk. Anyway, I'm still kicking myself. All right. Anyway, GitLab, I don't know the company well. We just pointed out the good earnings report last night, and it's been on a tear. So can't really take too much credit except for the fact that we alerted you and let you know that it was a good earnings report. Okay. That's about all I got. You wanted to talk about SOC?
Yeah, look, there's an expert on X, Cornelia Lake, that did a space on this yesterday, and talked about this catalyst. He's really the expert, but the story in a nutshell is this: the real effective float is somewhere in the $22-23 million range. There's 3 million short, so you're around 13% short. This is a field off coast of California that had a 5,000 barrel oil spill back in 2015. Has basically been shut in. Exxon sold it to a SPAC. The SPAC's got 680 million in cash in it. It's run by a well-known entrepreneur. in this industry. And the reason that Exxon sold it is because California imposes regulations in the same way that your tax department, the IRS, does for U.S. citizens around the country, around the world, so to speak. So basically, they put constraints on Exxon that affects all of other Exxon's divisions, not just this asset. So they can't afford to own this, and it's too small in the grand scheme of things for just them. So it makes sense in a standalone company. Look, this field was 15 to 20% of the oil production for California previously. It peaked at 36 million barrels a day. Even at 20 million barrels a day, this thing kicks off between $800 and $1 billion in EBITDA. We're talking about a payout that could be $7 to $12 a share. On top of that, there's gas and there's land onshore. So there's a carbon capture play and there's a stranded gas data center play that some are saying could be worth upwards of $1 billion as well. And if that's the case, then you're getting all this offshore asset for free. So what the catalyst that happened here was that there was a settlement with the County of Santa Barbara regarding some valves on the pipeline that previously brought this offshore oil, onshore. So if they can restart that, it defeases their need to do an FPSO, which is like $500 million. This field has like 100 infill wells and fairly low maintenance capex. So look, analysts that cover this thing like Jefferies have NAV, bull case NAVs in the $115 range, and target price is $70 plus. So look, this just happened yesterday. I think the market's just getting their mind around it. It's kind of an interesting play at a time when money is starting to come out of big cap tech and looking for other plays. So this could potentially be a multi-bagger from here.
Wow. Well,
so
I gotta be honest.
I bought a position. I'm continuing to do some work on it. Yeah.
So you put me to sleep on that, and that's my shortcoming. But you know what? I'll have to do some research on that because I didn't listen to you on AOI. So hopefully I'll research this at some point, and if it makes sense to me, yeah. So you got to listen to him. You can't tune out. He knows what he's talking about, this guy. All right. So beautiful. SOC, something big probably there. Let's see. It's 11:28, 2 minutes. It's worth a mention. TSSI. We'll be talking about this on Twitter Spaces and at 2 p.m. Godfather will be on that show. Also, we'll be talking small caps, micro caps. Always talk about TSSI on that show. So I have not sold a single share. It's still my largest position. All right, got in at like $2.90 to $3, and actually I've been buying some on the way up. I even added some over $5, believe it or not, even though it's my largest position. It's close to 20% allocation. I've not had an allocation this large in many, many, many years. So I'm very excited about TSSI going really, really well. Wow, look at this. ASTS over $34. What a beauty. Any final thoughts?
Be sure to tune in at 1 o'clock Eastern for that Wolf Small Cap Spaces. I've got
it's 1 o'clock, not 2 o'clock?
I thought it was 10 Pacific.
Okay, whenever it is, just make sure to follow us on Twitter. You can follow the Godfather at SMantel, SMANTEL. You can follow me at Story Trading. And there's Rhett there. Rhett, you want anyone to follow you anywhere?
They can just follow me at Hawkeye 2800.
Hawkeye 2800. So follow us on Twitter, and you'll get the updates on anything else we got going on.
Take myself off mute. Appreciate you guys. Any final thoughts before we have Aaron Bree come on?
Yeah, final thoughts is, look, it's it could be a crazy market in September, October in terms of seasonality. SPY QQQ could be in danger, but like what we do at Story Trading is we try to identify catalysts that are strong enough that can overcome any market headwinds. So that's what we focus on every day. So no matter what the market does, it doesn't really change my approach. I'm looking for, all I'll do is I'll be pickier about the catalyst. I won't do weak catalysts. We'll only look for very, very strong catalysts. Yeah. And we're still like balls to the wall trading, day trading, swing trading, long term. It's, doesn't change, right? Like if our CAT I don't know if you're familiar with this. If they get this government contract in the September, the stock's going to triple, even if the Dow's down like 20%. So
yeah,
that's how we do it here.
Got to pick and choose. Fret, Godfather, appreciate y'all's time. We will see you next Wednesday, folks. The link is in the chat if you guys want to check out more of them. Aaron Bree, give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready. Take care. All right. Aaron Bree, my man, the show is all yours. I appreciate you hopping in while I take care of a client meeting. Tell me what you got coming up.
Of course, it was good to hear Ben there. Ben and I have actually met before down in Florida. He's got he's a great guy to hang out with. He's got a beautiful family. So Ben, call me sometime. We got to catch up. All right, yeah, we've got an all access. If this is your first time tuning in to a Benzinga All Access, this is where we bring on the executives that run some exciting companies, and we get to learn more about those companies directly from the source. It's the only place on YouTube you'll get this type of access for free, hence the name All Access, because it truly is all of the access. Today, we've got a very interesting company coming on, BullRush, and we've got Trent, the CEO. Trent, I mean, I'm sure you're used to this by now, but I don't even want to say your last name because I don't know. I don't want to say it wrong. I don't want to, call you a mean name, but let's go ahead and bring you on so you can tell me how you would like me to say your last name so I can introduce you properly. Let's welcome Trent on the stream. All right, Trent, welcome to All Access. I love this setup, first of all.
Thanks for that. Yeah, my last name's Hoerr, pronounced like the hair on top of your head.
Got it. All right, that's better than what I would have gone with. I'm sure you've gotten it all. What was growing up with that?
Every day of my life. The worst part was I used to wrestle a lot growing up, and they'd announce your name over the PA system, and obviously they would pronounce it incorrectly. And they'd be like, Hoerr to Matt 2, Hoerr to Matt 2. It was interesting. It toughens you up, though.
Well, you must be quite an athlete, because I was on your LinkedIn earlier, and I saw you did track and field or cross country at the University of Illinois. So it was, I mean, the company name BullRush, you're a runner. Is there some, connection there?
There's no connection in the name, but yeah, BullRush, the whole idea about it is competition. It really stems from my entire life, growing up in a very competitive household, and then going and running at the University of Illinois, then professionally for Brooks afterwards.
Got it. Are you from Illinois originally?
Yep, Central Illinois, born and raised, small farm town outside of Peoria. Lived in Chicago for 8 years after that, and then moved to Florida to help start a technology company. And then we started BullRush as a branch off from that.
Got it. I'm from St. Louis, so I'm familiar with Peoria, and I went to Mizzou, so we got kind of the bragging rights game there between the Illini and the Mizzou Tigers.
Are you a Cardinals fan?
What's that? Yeah, big Cardinals fan.
Okay, very nice. I went to a lot of Cardinals games growing up.
Yeah. It's cool. The Cardinals have a wide fan base. You go into that section of Illinois before people start becoming Cubs fans, and down in Arkansas, all that. But let's get into BullRush, Trent. So we've heard BullRush runs CFD, crypto, and forex trading competitions. But we'd love to hear a high-level overview from you about the company and its goals. Could you tell us more?
Yeah, certainly. So BullRush was an idea I had about 3.5 years ago. It really started coming to fruition about 2 years ago when we went through the whole legal process to make sure we're authorized to legally operate here in the United States. I'm thankful to say we got approved in 42 of the U.S. states and about 150 countries worldwide. We fit underneath of daily fantasy sports. And so that is really what we're all about is the competition, the sports element. We think that trading isn't just for traders. We think there's a broader audience out there of people that would be interested in the style of product. But really what BullRush is competitions that are based on either trading or even trivia competitions. I don't know if you ever played the game HQ back in the day, but we have a similar concept inside of BullRush where people join, they try to answer trivia questions around trading, and the faster you answer and the more that you get correct, that deems the winner of the competition.
Yeah, of course. HQ was that was a lot of fun. They were giving away free money if you could do well in the trivia. Scott Rogowski, I still remember the host. He did a great job actually. I wonder what he's up to now. And that's interesting. You know, you mentioned I guess like the legal process because it seems like such a I don't want to say legal gray area, but like there's so many moving parts right now with certain states legalizing gambling and like. For example, the Prize Picks app is like a daily fantasy sports gambling that like can still operate in states that haven't quite legalized actual sports gambling yet. So like I can see how that would be probably quite a complicated and convoluted process getting all those legal approvals there.
Yep. Thankfully, we have a very good set of in-house lawyers as well as externally, and we went through a whole process of BullRush, and trading competitions in general are a game of skill, not a game of luck. So there's a reason why the best traders always are profitable, or similar to a poker tournament, the best poker players generally win. It's because it's a skill-based game. It's not based off of luck or chance.
Got it. So, I mean, just taking a look under like the whole umbrella, what exactly is gamified trading?
Yeah, that's a great question. So gamified trading, we're far past the day that probably your father or my father phoned in a broker to do their stock trades, paid $75 a click. Nowadays, it's much more interactive than that. And so inside of the BullRush system, we have a lot of gamified elements that are coming over from, the Call of Duties, the Halos of the world, where you earn experience points by just interacting with the system. Obviously, the more difficult the task, the higher amount of points you get. You get badges when you have certain achievements. You get certificates when you win. And so there's a lot of gamified elements inside of the platform to really help with that overall user experience and help with the engagement, to make sure that it's fun and exciting, because along with the competition side of BullRush, we also want it to be fun for people. We want them to come back and constantly be utilizing the platform to help grow as a trader, as well as, hopefully win some money if they win a competition.
Got it. And then Trent, I know you guys recently launched the actual platform, of course, after getting, through the legal process. So congrats on the launch. How did the launch go?
Yeah, thanks for that. And it far surpassed what we thought it would. So when we initially announced our September 9th competition as our kickoff, we announced it as the 10K launch competition because we thought we'd have 10,000 users. In the last 8 weeks, I'm happy to say we have over 15,000 users that have joined the platform. So we're far surpassed what we would even hope for. And we just see it growing from there. Our goal before the end of the year is to have 50,000 users on the platform. And we think it's very achievable. There's been a tremendous uptake in what we do. And it's just, an acknowledgement of putting it out there and that many people coming and subscribing so quickly.
That's awesome. What features of the platform are unique? Like what can I do on BullRush that I can't go do on Robinhood?
Yeah, certainly. So we're the first, to best my knowledge, we're the first ever legally authorized trading competition platform where people pay an entry fee into the competition, and then we collect a rake as the house. The rest gets distributed in prizes. I'm pretty sure we're the first ever legally, if not the first ever, to do that. A lot of firms do free competitions as lead generation tools to their overall business, where our entire business is competition, trading competitions, trading trivia competitions, etc. So that's really the key and core focus of what we do. Other elements that we have inside of the platform that really go back to the gamification is like daily trivia questions. So if you're wanting to advance your trading knowledge and sort of test your skills, you can log in every day to answer a trivia question to gain points and experience inside of the system that you can then go utilize inside of our platform.
Got it. And then I understand one aspect that sets BullRush apart from other, trading competitions you might find is its focus on different rules that maintain the integrity of the experience and discourage YOLO trading. What do you mean by this? And can you give some examples? Because I know from experience that in some trading competitions you go in, like paper trading competitions, you're almost incentivized to try to hit a big like lotto option winner because that's going to be the only way you're going to win. So how does BullRush kind of, I guess, focus on different rules that discourage that?
Yeah, great question again. You're exactly right. Most competitions, because they're free and they're giving away a large prize, people have a tendency to go YOLO or gamble on their trading. Our purpose is we want people to take this seriously, and we want realistic expectations and returns to be inside the market. And so we combat YOLO in a few different ways. The first is we have a concept called dynamic leverage, where every week we rebalance the leverage available in every product based on the average true range, or ATR, of those products over the given week. So if volatility increases, the leverage goes down, and vice versa, so that no matter which product you're trading, you have an equal opportunity for success or to win that competition. That's one way. The second way is we have rules associated with the program. So we have daily loss limits, we have max loss limits, we have maximum position sizes. Those are all features inside of there that really help to try to reduce YOLOing and people just gambling on the platform just to have the biggest win. It's a challenging problem, though, to solve. And so we're constantly looking for feedback from our users. That was part of the reason why we launched beta, was to get a lot of that feedback early on. To put that in perspective, when we first launched, we had 100-to-1 leverage on the platform. That is now down to 50-to-1 maximum, and most pairs are around 10 to 20 because most people in the system didn't like that other people were having YOLO trades and returning, 50, 100% in a day, which is not realistic.
Got it. And you mentioned it earlier. It sounds like this might be my favorite part of it, the trivia, the trading trivia challenge. What exactly does that entail? I know you mentioned kind of maybe some daily questions, but give me an overview of the trivia aspect of it.
Yeah, certainly. So there's two elements of the trivia that we have in there right now, and there's a third one coming towards the end of the year. The first is we have a daily trivia question where you can log in, and every day you can answer a trivia question. And if you get it right, you get experience points. Those experience points are then used throughout the system for a variety of different things. The second is we have competitions that are based solely on trivia. So imagine there's 20 questions and they're all trading related. And the person that answers the most correct, the fastest, is deemed the winner of that competition. And so those will have cash prizes to enter. So we'll do free ones to start, and then we'll do paid entry as it gains success and popularity. But there's always cash prizes inside the system if you go and you're one of the top competitors. And then in the future, we will have ongoing trivia where people can come in and just pick a category. If you want to learn more about technical analysis, you want to learn more about fundamental, you can go in there and there'll be a list of questions that you can go answer to gain badges, certificates, experience points, etc. Just a fun, interactive way to go test your trading knowledge.
Beautiful. Well, coming up on the clock here, Trent, I've just got a couple more questions for you. What trends are you seeing in the gamified trading space? Where do you hope the industry is in 3 years? And I'll throw this in there as well. Like, do you foresee other companies, maybe like a Robinhood, implementing more types of competitions, or do you know firsthand, like, oh, they'd have a hard time doing that because of all the regulatory and legal hurdles?
Yeah, I think brokerage firms will always run trading competitions, but they'll always do it in a free environment as a ancillary aspect of their business. So they use it to generate leads to then go sell you to open up a brokerage account and trade on their platform. That's very different than BullRush. Our core focus is running these trading competitions. So I don't think they would enter into our space. If they did, competition's welcome. We're all about competition. The more the merrier. I think we have an amazing product, and I think people, will really gravitate towards our product over others that might try to pop up in the space. In terms of gamification trading, it's been a massive trend ever since probably 10 years ago. You saw a lot of crypto brokerage firms and crypto exchanges really start that trend, and it's just carried over into all asset classes from FX, CFDs, stocks, etc. You name it. Everybody's trying to gamify their platforms now because they saw the popularity that happened with the crypto side of things.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, during COVID, especially, like everyone was just looking for a little bit of action somewhere, whether that be, you didn't have sports gambling. So it's like, oh, let's go bet on these different crypto markets. So it's interesting to see kind of that industry come out of its infancy, and now with legitimate companies like BullRush and seeing how it develops. And again, like the future, I'm excited to see what you guys do and partake in some of the competitions.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. We're excited to have you. See if you can be one of the winners. It's becoming more competitive as the more people join. Obviously, when we first started, it was a couple hundred people joining competitions. Now our 10K launch has over 10,000 people registered.
Got it. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the goal, to win. I'm not here to just to have fun or to play, Trent. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to win. So, all right, guys, we've been on the line with Trent Hoerr, again, the CEO of BullRush, which runs CFD, crypto, and Forex trading competitions. Go check out BullRush if you'd like to learn more and partake in that trading trivia challenge, which sounds exciting as well. Trent, thanks for hopping on Benzinga's All-Access with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Have a great day.
You do the same. Alrighty, guys. That was, again, Trent Hoerr, the CEO of BullRush. Thanks to everyone who tuned in to Benzinga's live trading and all access today. Please smash the like if you have not already. We'll be back with some more content tomorrow. We've got pre-market prep, of course, at 8 a.m. Eastern, followed by another episode of live trading. This afternoon, we will be streaming C3 AI's earnings call as well at 5 p.m. So if you're interested in the AI space in C3 AI, you want to learn more about that, tune into the call here on the channel. With that, I'll let you guys get on with your day. Happy trading, stay green, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.